streaming and make sure the stream is going. Okay, so let's see. Let's see. Do we have videos now? There we go. Okay, so it looks like we're live. I'm checking
Oh no.
the stream. What's up?
Oh, we're live. Oh no.
Oh yeah, fair. All right, so hello everybody. I'm your host for tonight's stream. I'm Ben Smith. I'm a militant casual. This is a stream of our the second game to run in our first round of our Militant Casuals West Coast Jank Tank tournament. So this is a tournament that I've put together through our squadron, our sort of multi-location squadron, which started in the Bay Area. Then I moved to Eugene and I started to create a little cell of folks here. And I left behind, sort of as team dad in my place, Tommy, who's with us. Say hi, Tommy.
Hello.
Yeah, and then of course we've also had some random folks join us over time, and one of those random folks is also with us from Sacramento, and that's Daniel Lim.
Hello there.
Hello. So we're a little bit before game time here, and I thought I would do that so we have time to talk about how this tournament is running and how it's set up. First of all, I want to thank the Fly Better podcast for the Jank Tank structure that they've been using in their podcast for a while. About 2 months ago, I started out a league here in Eugene using the Jank Tank rules and a draft based on how our leagues had been kind of going up to that point. And it was very successful. And when we all started social distancing, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and lots of tournaments started getting canceled, I thought, how could I try to provide, X-Wing gameplay to folks who might otherwise not get out of the house very much anymore? And yes, I know that the Gold Squadron and the Minox Fly Better Squadron are doing a really cool one and done Jank Tank format tournament, which I believe I know Daniel you're taking part in, and you got your
correct.
Yeah, Tommy, I don't know if you're in that.
No, I don't think I can swing in the extra game a week.
Yeah, I didn't think I could either, given running this, which I think is really cool. But they had to, because they're going much larger scale and scope, they kind of had to do things a little bit differently than we're doing. So if you're familiar with the Fly Better, Gold Squadron Jank Tank thing, they're generating lists the same way we did using YASB 2.0 and the randomized function, but they were doing it where each player gets 2 lists, and that's the 2 lists you get. What I did instead is, and I'll link to this stuff in our doobly-doo when we get a chance. I generated, we ended up with 16 players who signed up for this. I generated 5 lists per faction, and then I held a draft. And essentially, because this group didn't have a history, I did a random draft order. And Rick, who will be playing today, ended up picking first. We'll talk about his list in a minute. And Patrick ended up picking fourth. So this is, in some sense, our first round marquee matchup, and a good one to lead off with. So let's see. The way Jank Tank works, if you're not familiar, you get a list. It's randomly generated by YASB, and the rule goes you get to swap out one upgrade and swap in with whatever points you have available a better upgrade, in theory. So I'll let Tommy and Daniel share their experience in thinking about their lists in a minute if the game doesn't get going too soon here, or we'll just talk about that stuff as we go. You'll see a bit, somewhat unjanky list tonight, but as we continue on this stream through the rest of our tournament, and it's going to be a 6-round Swiss tournament, and then I'll figure out if we're going to need, a tiebreaker at the end or not. You're going to see some pretty bad lists. Tommy and Daniel, I think you guys both drafted relatively far down the way. So if Tommy, let's start with you. Why don't you talk about kind of your experience drafting a list here?
Other than the fact that Daniel picked before me and picked the list that I wanted, yeah.
We can talk about that. The best part about that, from my perspective, was how Daniel actually asked you which list you wanted, and then picked the one you wanted.
Yes, it was also probably the best list that was left. So when I saw the draft order, I was like, okay, if there's something competitive left, Daniel's taking it before I am. I better just have a plan B, and that's how I ended up with Vessery with intimidation on him.
And then Daniel, what list did you pick?
So I picked a first order list. It contains Hollow, not Tavson. What's it's the I1
I thought
Upsilon.
it was
It's
Tasman.
no, it wasn't Tavson. It was the I1 Upsilon that no one ever uses.
No one ever uses. Here,
Here,
I still haven't pulled up.
yeah, let me see if I can find it. One second.
And yeah, I'm getting stuff together here. I'm going to go ahead and send some stuff into chat here on the stream in a moment.
It was Thanison.
There you go, Petty Officer Thanison, and he's the guy that basically says, if a ship in his front arc at range 0 to 2 gains a stress token, I can spend a charge to make it gain a tractor instead.
Which might be hilarious because I don't think there are many medium-based ships in this. Well, I think there are maybe 2 or 3 lists out of the 16 that have medium or large-based ships.
Right. So my strategy is I'm going to bring the 3 biggest rocks, and someone is going to forget I have this guy, and they don't know what he does, and I am going to put someone on a rock, and they will be very sad.
I mean, honestly.
But anyways.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say that's kind of the way Jank Tank ends up being, right? Because since the lists are randomly generated, everybody kind of ends up with ships they would otherwise never put in a list, or B would only play on a casual night at best, right? And so there's gonna be a lot of, I think, as we go through this, folks trying to figure out what exactly does that ship do, or what does that upgrade do, right?
I can tell you what my Skurg with Stealth Device does, which is lose Stealth Device in the first engagement.
Fair. So tonight, our as I mentioned, our matchup is going to be between Rick Riddell, one of the founding members of our Militant Casuals group, Tommy and myself, Matt Proctor Brown, and Brandon Carey, who is also in the tournament, are kind of that core founder group of this. I could talk about the origin story maybe later as I drink more beer. Patrick, who will be playing against Rick, was one of our earliest folks who was like, yeah, I'll do that. I'll be part of this weird group who has T-shirts and, call themselves Militant Casuals. So this is going to be, I think, kind of a fun matchup. Rick and Patrick play each other all the time. They're very familiar with each other. They're both guys who like ace lists, and they both drafted, essentially, ace-ish lists. So as we get to them, what Rick is running is obviously the best list that was generated in our Jank list. Maybe, if you guys think there was a better list that Rick passed up, feel free to throw that out there. Let's see. So Rick is running Darth Vader. He added afterburners to Vader. That was his upgrade. An Omicron group pilot with ST321, which will allow him to take target locks on anything the person he coordinates target locks. I think that's how that works. And Pure Sabak had, of all things, Crackshot already. And then he's got a Naked Vagabond. So we've got 2 strikers, squirrely strikers, 1 generic Lambda class shuttle, and Vader. This is not that different from what Rick would honestly play. He's a big fan of Vader and Pure Sabak. That was his, part of his kind of fall list of choice. What do you guys expect from Rick with that list? Let's start with you, Daniel.
Quick question? What was Patrick's list?
Yeah, Patrick's list is also sort of an ace list. So we've got Grand Inquisitor with Instinctive Aim, a Saber Squadron TIE Interceptor with Static Discharge Vanes, because, by the way, Yasby loves to put Static Discharge Vanes on ships. Whisper with Swarm Tactics, FCS, Fifth Brother, and Munitions Failsafe, and I believe his addition was Fifth Brother. And a Gamma Squadron Ace Naked TIE Bomber. So we've got 2 4-ship Imperial lists with something approximating squirrely aces.
Right. So if I was in Rick's position, I really want my Vader to bully Whisper. Vader will shoot first before Whisper can attack and potentially get her free evade that round. If he can keep enough tokens off of Vader, if Vader can keep enough tokens off of Whisper, her overall potential in that game will be severely hampered. The other thing though is just that in Jank Tank, when I was looking at the lists, I tried to find lists that were more ships than upgrades. I'm sure you noticed that there's some lists have only 3 ships, but 1,000 upgrades everywhere, and I feel that sometimes those upgrades, especially if they're randomized, they don't give you as much bang for your buck compared to a very optimized list. So again, I'm just looking for lists for ships over upgrades, and for the most part.
And tell me, what are you thinking here?
I'm thinking it all depends on how well Rick plays Vader. If he gets too aggressive, Vader's going to get... Vader's going to get popped. But he does have Sabak to kind of flank or kind of bully himself and try and affect the other ships in the list. But with 2 I-5s, Patrick can turn the tide by before Vader does too much damage to Whisper.
Yeah, the way I kind of look at this is with, the one thing that Patrick has in some sense over Rick's, I think, is maneuverability, right? Because for Rick to get the maximum out of his shuttle, somebody's got to hang out with that shuttle. And it's not going to be the strikers, probably, right? Those guys are going to have to aileron every turn unless he finds a way to stress them. And so I'd imagine that Vader and the Omicron group kind of hang back, or hang together at the very least. With Patrick's list, he doesn't have a slow mover here. He can kind of move everybody around with that Saber and the Gamma Squadron, in theory as, blockers for Inky and for Whisper, I guess. And if you're watching the stream, as you can see, we are seeing the rocks are getting placed. I think Rick brought the 3 gas clouds, and it appears that Patrick has brought 3 rocks. And as you can see over in the bottom left-hand corner, I'm going to move our cursor over here. We have our round counter being set up on the bottom rock. It's just a shield that they're going to increment every turn. In these games, they're going to go 12 rounds since it's too hard to get a good game in 75 minutes, or till one list is gone. And it looks, I can't tell yet if they've chosen to go left and right or top and bottom. I'm guessing the way rocks are being set up, it's left to right. But I guess we will see soon enough.
One thing, Ben, I think you forgot to mention was how we are dealing with
initiative
player order.
Yeah, go for it.
So, in the Gold Squadron / Fly Better tournament, they're just going to roll a dice for it. Just because with Jank Tank, it's difficult to trying to do a bid and all that. So here, since we did the draft and we had I think 5 times 7, almost 35 lists total, give or take a little bit. And people will pick from top to bottom. We said that if you are paired against an opponent and whoever chose second of the 2, they will get to choose whether they want first or second player. So whoever had theoretically the quote-unquote worst pick, the worst list, will get to choose to move first or move second to kind of balance it a little bit. And in this match, it will make a difference because we do have a couple of ties at the I-4. We've got the Saber Squadron Interceptor against Pure Sabak, who is also a 4, and I'm pretty sure Patrick will let Rick move first in that situation so that that Interceptor can act like a mini ace against him.
Yeah, when I ran the Jank Tank up here, what I did was I took our previous results to lay out how we would do draft order. So we had some new players and we had some players who had struggled in other types of leagues, and I let them draft first to give them sort of a natural advantage. Running this tournament, we didn't have an easy way to sort of balance out, Rick on one end and Aaron Arnold, who picked 16th. And so I want to actually give a tip of the hat to Daryl McMillan, one of our militant casuals from the Golden Gate Aces, and of somebody who's participating in this tournament for suggesting that the person who has the lowest draft spot in each matchup get to make that initiative choice. I think it was a really great call as a way to try to balance out the disparities in lists. Beyond Rick and maybe the top 5, it's not going to matter as much, I don't think, because I think there's like 3 or 4 good lists and then a bunch of real jank, and then the last couple people maybe we got jank ass jank, if you want to break it down. All right, so it looks like we've gotten to ship placement, and of course the OGP is on the board first in the corner, and let's see. From here, we should expect to see, I think, let's see, who's next up, guys, to place?
Should be Vagabond.
Vagabond.
Yeah, Vagabond at, what is that, Initiative 2 for Vagabond?
Yeah.
Correct, yes.
Yeah. So Rick's going to get to place 2 ships down, sort of define the opening flow of setup. And yeah, he's got Vagabond setting up to flank, which totally makes sense if OGP is going to be riding along with Vader. What do you expect Patrick to do here?
So Patrick actually has quite a few fast-moving ships, with the cloaking and the 5 forwarding from the Interceptor and Grand Inquisitor. Whenever I see someone deploy split like this, I usually like to just funnel all my guys into one lane and try and jump on one ship, especially since the OGP is a relatively slow ship. I'd be right now tempted to just put everything in that bottom left corner and make a mad dash for the OGP since it can't really get away.
How about you, Tommy? What do you think?
I think the shuttle's the right target. It is slow enough. Plus, 2 strikers can put out a decent amount of damage. Of course, I might still be bitter from pure Sabak rolling like 14 hits out of 16 dice last time I played Rick.
Yeah, so that's been a theme, I think, of Rick's play so far in practicing with this list, is that he's had some amazing dice luck, kind of. So we'll see if that holds up here. Now, of course, Patrick Hansen is also known as Natty Patty to our locals, with the tip of the hat here to Drew Bishop, another local X-Wing legend who nicknamed him that after a particularly abusive set of rolls against him in a game. So we'll see whose dice really win out here. So we've got, as we can see, Patrick is also splitting up his forces a little bit. He's got the guys we would think of as maybe being blockers, ready to not necessarily go straight down the middle because of that gas cloud that is ahead of the Saber, but that Saber could go either direction here. And he's got Whisper, as we would sort of expect, as the brawler ready to go either side of that asteroid as well. So that will leave just Vader to be set up. Where do we think Vader's going to go? Oh, there he is.
There.
Yeah, I was going to say he's going to probably stick with the OGP just to support his flank. I expect him to stall with the OGP for a round or two and then kind of move up It's unfortunate we can't draw lines on this map, but I expect the OGP to go up through this big open space to the middle right area of the board. Vader's probably going to go forward and then again merge to the center, and kind of they're all going to converge in that area there.
Yeah, and do we expect a self bump then with the OGP on this first round?
Yeah, I expect a self bump.
I expect Rick to mess it up, and the OGP is going to go farther than he expects.
Tommy, what do you think Patrick is doing on his side?
That bomber has a surprisingly decent dial. So my guess is he's probably going to try and bump Vader at some point during the first engagement. How he gets there, probably by the 3rd round or so, heading straight through the gap between the asteroid and the gas cloud. What the Grand Inquisitor is going to do, I have no idea. Maybe just a 5 straight down the board.
If you guys had to bet, who's your money on here? And is it just pure list, or something about our matchup here?
I mean, I feel like Rick has probably obviously the best list in the entire league at the moment, just because he has 3 ships that are solid, A tier ships.
Yep.
The OGP, Vader, and Pure Sabak are all very strong picks. Very strong, not picks, but very strong ships, even in their standard regular meta. But to get 3 out of 3 of those in this is amazing. On top of that, he has 4 ships that each have 3 attack dice, effectively, which is, again, a rare thing to see in a Jank tank. So he's got the better firepower. He's got the better, what do you call it? Meta ships, I guess, is the way to look at it. And I feel like this one should have probably been re-rolled.
Oh, I feel personally attacked there. I mean, the thing is, Vader is, a great piece, and, no duh, Afterburners on Vader is, probably the most valuable upgrade you could get. I think Rick was trying to troll us a little by saying he wished he'd chosen sense instead, but I do think that was trolling. So Tommy, how do you feel?
The list itself just has too many good pieces. I mean, Patrick's list is good, but no, look, he actually did one properly.
Yeah. Yep, as expected, that OGP didn't want to have to do a hard stop, so he fortressed, and I disqualify Rick now. Just kidding.
Is that a warning point?
Ooh, yes. Rick, you have a warning point. I know you're listening.
The one thing I do want to also mention is that Rick's list has no fat or no crap in it. He has Afterburners. He has a ST321 title and a Crackshot. Those are his 3 upgrades.
Yeah.
Whereas Patrick, he's got a wasted instinctive aim, a useless static discharge vein,
munitions
failsafe, and a fire control system on Whisper, but they cannot use a target lock action. So he's got 1, 2, 3, 9, almost a dozen points that are just sitting there doing nothing. So you can always look at it that Patrick is playing with a 12-point disadvantage, give or take a little bit.
Yeah, that sounds right. And here we see that also he's starting to work the 2 strikers out, and I was wondering initially if he would split them up a bit around that gas cloud. And we've seen that Vagabond has ended up kind of going as far, to the board edge as it can. So I'm really interested to see what he does with Pure Sabak here. Tommy, it looks like you were close to right with the bomber. Not a 5 forward, but still forward through that gap. Maybe a little more conservative than you thought.
Yeah, the conservative play is fine right at the moment. I'm pretty sure that Patrick knew OGP is just going to sit in the corner for a turn. I think he's more interested to see where Vader goes.
Yeah.
If Vader goes straight forward, the bomber can then converge onto Vader. If Vader does a turn, up the right side of the board, then he can move that direction.
Daniel, if you're in Patrick's shoes, do you go all in on Vader if Rick is silly enough to do like a 5 forward up the board?
Yes, definitely. Because if he did do a 5 forward up the board and OGP is down there, that means OGP is going to be out of the fight for 2, maybe 3 turns.
Yeah, totally.
And if at that point I converge everybody onto Vader, he's going to have a very difficult time dodging effective. It looks like what Bomber, the Interceptor, and Whisper. He'll have 3 arcs to dodge.
Yeah.
Vader probably can dodge 1 of them, but maybe 2 of them if he's really, really, really good. But I doubt he'll have all 3.
I mean, Vader definitely is 1 forwarding here, right?
I would also consider a 1 bank, just to kind of aim yourself behind that rock.
Mm-hmm.
One of the tricks I like to do as an ace is I like to put myself right in front of a rock, and then reposition depending where my opponent moves.
Yeah.
So if Rick sees, it looks like Patrick is converging to the south portion of the board. If he did a one bank, he can then barrel to the right, and he'll have this big open area to run away. Versus if Patrick had gone kind of in the middle or up towards the strikers, if he had turned up to the top left corner, then Vader could have done that one bank, barrel to the left, and then has a 5 forward and can be in perfect flanking position at that point.
Yeah. I mean, because it looks to me like what Patrick is setting up here to do is he knows that obviously the strikers are going to be pretty mobile and able to, get around the corner on his main force. And his main force here is clearly the Bomber, the Saber, and Whisper, which makes total sense, right? And he kind of wants to get those guys on target, probably to Vader and the OGP, would be my guess. And thus be pretty conservative with Grand Inquisitor and maybe try to get Grand Inquisitor actually in the flanking position behind those strikers if he can. And he's moving, the Grand Inquisitor after both of those strikers, so he does have that opportunity. And here we see Whisper has sort of banked behind his blockers, no surprise here, and will, cloak. So the real question is, what did Vader do? The good thing about Vader moving pretty slowly.
No
Barrel
cloak.
Oh, he barrel
Barrel
rolled. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
I was gonna say after you finish, but I did not like Whisper's position because that did not give Whisper any good decloak positions at that point, which I guess Patrick foresaw that, so he just decided to barrel to give him a better position for the next turn.
Yeah. And here we go. Vader did the one forward, leaves him in a place where he can continue to allow OGP to self-bump. I'll give him his second warning point. Nope. Well, he's still in the way, I think. Let's see. He did do his
still in the way.
Yeah, so he still gets a little bit of the benefit of that if he wants it. This kind of constrains his move for the next turn, in my mind.
Yeah, I think that was a mistake because now Vader cannot go up and to the right. He has to basically go straight. And if Patrick sees this coming, if he turns everyone in, for example, 3 banks with a bomber, 3 bank or 5 forward boost with the interceptor, Whisper's kind of a little bit far behind, but you can probably get some shots onto Vader with your 2 blockers next turn.
Yeah. To me here, Vader either has to just do a 1 bank to the left now, or basically take a chance that he's gonna too hard roll over that rock and lose a shield. Or he does have afterburner, so he could do an aggressive play here, but that leaves the OGP totally out of the fight. So Rick seems to already know what he's doing. He's got his dials down fast, and that was true in the first round too. I've played Patrick a lot, and this is not not a slam on Patrick at all, but Patrick is a very thoughtful player and takes extra careful time to think about his dials. So this does not surprise me. He is very methodical. So this is probably something we'll see a lot, is Rick getting dials down fast. He's a very instinctive player, Rick is, which is his strength. Patrick is much more of a sort of an evaluating player. Somebody should let Patrick know that he should probably get rid of the focus token next to. There we go.
I'm clicked in as player 8, so I'll help with cleanup.
Good man. Good man. Yeah, so it could be a couple minutes till we get Patrick's dials down. So given this board state, what do you guys think Patrick is going to do next? Let's go with Tommy first.
Let's see. Probably a 3 bank or a 3 straight with that bomber. Straight. Yep. You'll probably see the 2 blockers go forward. The bottom, depending on if he expects Vader to go down toward the edge or go up toward the top of the board. I would guess Whisper decloaks.
Oh no,
right,
Whisper can't. He's not cloaked this turn.
Yeah, because he had to barrel roll, so yeah, he's going to have to cloak this turn.
He's gonna. Yep.
Daniel, what do you think? I definitely have a thought, but let's hear you first.
So we know OGP is going to bump again, He's probably just going to do a straight move. He probably won't bank, because if he banks, then he'll be kind of in a nice position to hit that rock in that corner there. If I was Patrick, like I said, I would try and go all in on Vader at this moment. So, Bomber and Interceptor are going either a 3 bank towards the board edge, or forward with the Interceptor and then boost in to kind of create a little bit of space between the two of them. Whisper probably does a 2 bank in, and then most likely either evades or something like that, just in case Vader goes too fast. The Inquisitor, I'm actually tempted to go head on into the TIE Strikers. For example, like do a 3 bank towards the Strikers, and maybe get lucky if Rick overshot, and then next thing you know, the Inquisitor could barrel out to the left, and then he'll be behind the Strikers the following turn. It just depends how fast the Strikers went.
Yep, Shuttle did a 1 straight. Bumps a little.
Yeah, so there was that 1 straight that we expected. Do you guys think there's any chance that Whisper actually heads towards the Strikers to support Grand Inquisitor?
Oh yeah, that's a big possibility too.
Yeah.
Especially knowing Vader either has to go slow, or if he goes fast, he's kind of on his own, right? OGP is not going to be there.
Right, exactly. And this is what I was talking about. Since the Striker went so fast, I feel like if the Grand Inquisitor did a 3 bank, he could potentially boost or barrel roll out of arc of the Vagabond, and then he'll just be him versus Pure Sabak, depending, of course, where Pure Sabak went.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I was thinking going a little bit slower with the Grand Inquisitor, but it depended a lot on what Whisper does. And I'd probably go slow with the Grand Inquisitor if Whisper is going to be getting a shot on Vagabond, which obviously you won't know until you wouldn't have known until dials were not were already getting revealed or what have you. But as a potential plan, that also though probably means that Whisper can't cloak if he did go fast, and maybe that's the reason to think he didn't do it. Unless he hits, right, and then gets that special evade token. But that's a lot to bet on, in my mind.
Right, or he could have just done a evade action as regular, and then pray to the dice gods and get lucky to get 2 evades, and then he can cloak at that point. But we'll see.
On turn 2, right?
Yes, this is turn 2 right now.
All right.
Yeah, thanks to Sean Bowman for reminding us. The players are a little bit distracted, but Tommy is doing God's work and making sure that stuff gets updated.
I guess that I'm not smiting people, so that's not as fun.
It got moved down to 1 again, though, so I'm not sure why.
That.
Yep, so it looks like Patrick is anticipating Vader coming forward. He's got 2 ships there.
Yep.
Hopefully ready to shoot at Vader. And then who's next?
Sabak.
Whisper's next?
Well, Sabak's already gone, so it's going to be Whisper and Grand Inquisitor both at 5, right? Are you guys surprised Sabak was so conservative here?
A little bit. I thought he would go faster.
Inquisitor takes it slow.
Do you think the Pure Sabak has Grand Inquisitor in range right now, or is that out of range?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's out, but it's hard to tell from this angle.
It looks like it's out.
Yeah, I don't think
Okay.
Whisper is in range.
Oh,
You're talking about right.
All right, Darth Vader comes up from the bottom with a 4 forward. From this, I think target lock there, so he got both shots. This is kind of what we expected.
Well, if he's doing the target lock, then he chose not to boost, so he didn't use afterburners, which is probably smart. Because if I were him, I'd be looking. Well, I know Rick is listening, so I probably won't give my thoughts on this until he's done.
Is Rick listening right now? I thought he's playing his game.
He's on the stream.
He's
watching
listening.
the stream.
Yeah, he's watching the stream. He's listening to us.
Oh.
He's a cheater.
Yeah, he should. Yeah, no, we're not giving him strategy. No, okay, no.
Target lock the bomber, Rick.
I feel like he should mute the stream.
Yeah, he shouldn't be listening to this stream, or he should not be watching the stream. But Rick does lots of things that he probably shouldn't do.
So look, he doesn't listen to you. He locked the interceptor instead.
Yeah, I mean, I'm wondering. So he's got to focus now. He's spent force on that. And since he did lock the TIE Interceptor, I wonder if he's going to barrel roll to the left and try and get out of arc of the bomber. Not that he's probably that afraid of the bomber's 2 dice, but...
I don't think a barrel will get him out. I think
you don't think a barrel roll forward,
no
left and forward wouldn't do it? Well, it looks like he chose not to do that, so we do have a shot. Focus blank on the roll on the Interceptor, which will be getting 4 dice. He's not choosing to use the lock. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up the dice now.
Yep. So let's playing conservative. Oh no, I see what he did.
Oh, he used
he
FCS.
Wanted to take advantage of the. No, he doesn't have FCS.
Oh,
he
right,
wanted
right.
to take advantage of the ship's passive ability, the advanced targeting computer.
Right.
So you have to have the lock in order to change it to a crit.
Yeah, but he didn't need to use the focus yet, right?
Well, he didn't have any hits in the original roll, so he wanted to take advantage of it. So
fair.
Spent the focus, and
yep.
he wanted to be greedy, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he spent everything, and he's at hit crit.
Yep. And then Patrick rolled blank, evade, focus, evade. So he spent the focus he had to totally get rid of that, which is probably good for Vader. That TIE Interceptor now doesn't have the token for offense, so that helps. All right, does it have? Who has the focus, him or the bomber? That's my question, actually.
The bomber. They both had
bomber.
focuses.
They both had focuses. Yeah. Okay.
That's the bomber's focus.
Yeah. Got it. Right. So
that
probably
like Grand Inquisitor is going into Vagabond.
Yep.
Range 2 shot, but we did see from the range that Pure Sabak is not in range of Grand Inquisitor.
Ooh, that's good for Patrick.
Yeah, but most likely Vagabond would just take the stress and take 1 damage.
No, that's Countdown. This is a different one.
Countdown? Oh, it's Vagabond. Vagabond's the bomb one, right?
Yeah, Vagabond's basically just a generic striker. The way this
at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hit. Focus. Hit.
I'm assuming he spent a force to add extra dice.
Yeah, I don't see. It doesn't look like Patrick is maintaining his force on the board like Rick is.
It's on his player board, so that's where he's counting it. So yes, he did spend the force.
Gotcha.
He's spending the second force now to turn that into hit.
Yep. So Vagabond will get 2 dice, which means that there's definitely damage going through. Not sure what the delay is on the defense die roll, but I should note that Rick and Patrick are together in a voice chat room, which is why you don't see a lot of communication going back and forth between them in the game chat. I've kept the game log up just so that folks can see the moves and such that have gone on. Probably won't spend a lot of time going into the player lists until and unless somebody starts to pile up some crits. Um, so yeah, we're just all waiting on Rick to roll, I think.
Let me go join their chat for a second
Yeah.
to see what's going on. I'll be right back.
Sounds good.
Rick's arguing about something. Rick, stop arguing.
I'm not sure what there would be to argue about, but yeah, I suppose.
Okay, I am back. Your on the ground reporter is back with the update.
What do we got?
Rick had to go pee.
Oh, bio break. All right. Well, so I guess this is a good moment to while Rick is taking a leak. To maybe welcome folks to our stream, and if you came in a little bit late, you have showed up to the first streamed game of our Militant Casuals West Coast Jank Tank Tournament. This is a thing that I'm running from Eugene as part of our Militant Casuals cruise. We have players in multiple locations around the world, including we have a Militant Casual who lives in Europe. We've got a few who have joined me here in Eugene, Oregon. The original crew is back in the Bay Area. That's represented by Tommy, who's with us today. Tommy is the team dad that I left in charge when I absconded from the Bay Area. And then we've got
a horrible decision.
No, think about the options I had. And then, of course, we've got Daniel, who
Doesn't make it any.
Daniel's from the.
Less worse.
That's true. Daniel's from the Capital Corsairs. But last spring-ish, we all went to Seattle for the System Open there, and basically Daniel was absorbed by us and became a Capital Casual as well as a Corsair. So, yeah, hey, Daniel, let's talk about that. So, the Militant Casual started as a South Bay thing in an area that already had a couple of squadrons. So there was already Hella Squadron, which was some of the old school players. There were the Golden Gate Aces up in the sort of the North Bay, San Francisco area. And then the Capital Casuals or Capital Corsairs have been around a bit too, right? So what's kind of the history of that group?
So I started playing this game back roughly around the Force Awakens when that came out. And there were a good maybe 6 to 10 players who were veterans of the game and kind of already playing for a long time, and they didn't really have a squad group name at that time. They would just play at the store on casual nights, and they would have a couple of store events every now and then. For the most part, I felt that the Sacramento group wasn't as competitive compared to the Bay Area group, at least in that time frame. Because I remember whenever we went to a tournament, you guys always come up and completely stomp us.
Well, it wasn't us, like the Militant Casuals, because we were relatively new to the game, but probably more like the Hella Squadron guys would stomp you.
Yeah, exactly.
And the Aces.
There you go. So we went in our own group to kind of grow and get better ourselves. Looks like Rick rolled some dice, just an eyeball, which kind of hurts for the Vagabond. But going back to it, we kind of went in our own group identity, and that's when we kind of took a vote and became the Capital Corsairs. We've lost a couple of people over time, of course. We've gained a whole bunch more. And we have a pretty good group of guys now.
Yeah, and so what brought you kind of into our orbit with the Militant Casuals?
At least this past year, when we went to Seattle, none of the guys wanted to go up to travel to Seattle. In the past, I think the previous System Open, we all went to Arizona, I think. Yeah, that was like January last year, approximately. Right. And we had I think 8 of us all got an Airbnb together and went to do it. And this time I had some time off, and so I decided to hit up the Seattle System Open. But all the other guys either had plans or just the timing didn't work out. So I was basically alone by myself. So I had to find some group to join.
And you fell in with us, you poor bastard.
Unfortunately, yes.
So Rick did something interesting here that I want to point out. So Rick chose not to spend his focus on defense at all and took 3 damage on Vagabond. What do you guys think about that decision? Yes, he keeps the focus for attack, but he's still 3 versus 3 against an evading force user. What do y'all think?
I believe the comment is, that's a bold move, Cotton.
Looks like it's whose turn is it? Oh, it's the interceptor shooting at Vader, and Vader takes the damage.
Oh, look at that. Is that Natty Patty? That
Yes.
That's
is Natty Patty.
Patty.
Oh, look at that.
Oh man.
Okay, now the Grand Inquisitor.
No, it's
Oh.
the bomber shooting at Vader now.
Yeah. It's just he set firing options, or he must have turned the firing options off, would be my guess from Grand Inquisitor, because he still had it on. All right, so
Yep,
the
range
GSA,
three.
yep, range 3, so 2 versus 4. Look at those dice.
He's fine.
Yeah, Vader will be fine. He's got the force to get out of this one.
1 force left.
But yeah, losing a shield there and 3 health on Vagabond is not the start Rick wanted.
Vagabond still has a shot on the Grand Inquisitor, so
Yep.
we'll see if he can, if that saving that focus was worth it or not.
Yeah, the thing is, Grand Inquisitor is tanky, right?
There you go. That's what he wants to
But
see.
that'll do. All right, let's see what happens. All right, so Grand Inquisitor will be losing a shield.
Yes, because he's out of force.
Yep.
Yep.
He spent his force on offense and one on defense. On all offense, right? For both.
Yeah,
of
he
them?
used it on offense, but
Yeah.
he used it first to roll
the
3 dice
die.
instead of 2, and then he used 1 to convert a focus result. So yeah. So what do you guys think about that trade? 3 health on Vagabond for a shield on Gink.
Well, he also lost a shield on Vader too, so definitely did not go in Rick's favor here.
Yeah, and the OGP is way, way out of position here.
Yep, exactly. So the biggest problem was Pierce Sabak was out of range to get a nice juicy shot onto the Inquisitor.
Yep.
And OGP is still going to be out of fight for another, not this, 2 more rounds at least. Because this round he'll probably start banking in, maybe coordinate Vader with a focus and get a target lock himself on somebody, but he's not going to take a shot this round.
Yeah, so Vader probably hauls ass in afterburners here, right?
Yeah.
Not necessarily afterburners, but he definitely gets out
Definitely
of town.
doing. Yeah.
So
5
Depend-
straight.
yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Daniel.
So I was going to say, depending how ballsy Rick wants to get, he could potentially do a 3 bank into the position where the bomber and the interceptor are currently. And if he thinks that the bomber and interceptor are going to do some sort of disengagement move, because I don't know what Patrick wants to do. If I was in Patrick's shoe, I might consider ignoring Vader at this time, because I'm assuming Vader's going to 5 forward, get out of town, and I can actually just go like 4 forward and on each of them and start hunting the OGP. And then Vader will, if Patrick calls that Rick is going to disengage, he can do that. The other kind of cool thing that Patrick has option-wise is he could decloak Whisper to the right, do a hard 1 turn, and have a then open up his arc onto Vader, depending what Vader did. Or what were you guys thinking?
Good, Ben left the building.
Ben, hello.
Hello.
Possibly.
Yeah, sorry, I thought.
There you go.
Yeah, sorry, I thought you were going to go first, Tommy.
Okay.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, go. Yeah, I'll go ahead. Let's see. So, what does the interceptor dial look like? Because I don't know what it is.
Just blue 2 turns.
Yeah, blue 2 turns, blue 2 banks.
Yeah, everything 2 is blue.
Yeah,
3.
everything 2 is blue. Looks like a fag.
I think it has a 4/4 blue as well.
Yeah,
I
the
wanna
4/4
say.
blue is the 4 forward is also blue.
So here's what
yeah.
I think. In Rick's, let me lay out what I think. So Rick is probably not happy with what happened with Vagabond, and if I was Vagabond, I would want to get in and put pressure on Whisper, just as a potential block. So I probably 1 forward 3 bank with Vagabond. Sabak can afford to be a little bit more conservative, and he's going to have to move before Grand Inquisitor. But pure Sabak also could probably get in position to get guns on Whisper. At this point, I probably leave Grand Inquisitor alone, with those two. And Vader, I probably 3-bank away, and then Afterburners around the rock to try to come in behind Whisper. That's probably what I do there. And OGP is just a bank, coordinate, get target lock, as you say, Daniel. Tommy, what do you think?
I'm just reminding Patrick PS to Regen of Force.
Good man.
Let's see.
And if I'm Patrick, Grand Inquisitor probably only takes one shot this turn, no matter what he does, from pure Sabak. But he could very well just, fly by them and make them kind of chase at this point.
Yeah.
Whisper, I probably decloak to the left and do something conservative myself. But I think you're right, Daniel. I think he could do as you say and focus in on Vader and go fast with the blockers. So looks like we are in the system phase. So looks like maybe you got it right, Daniel.
Yep. So it just depends whether he wants to go all in on Vader for the block. If he gets it, that's going to be one very sad Vader. The other option is, like I said, he can go straight for the OGP and start, punching through the OGP shield.
Yep.
OGP's in the court.
Yep. I mean, he could do that even with Whisper, right? He doesn't have to one hard and focus on Vader. He could put all three of those into the face of OGP.
Yep, exactly.
Yep.
Like I said, it just depends. If Rick called it, looks like he's linking Vader's action to get a focus into a barrel roll.
So that means that Vader's going to do a blue, probably a one bank maybe at this point.
Oh, interesting. So Vader's going to stay and fight.
Well, he's got to get some damage through, right? I mean, he's behind already, not just in points, but also kind of in the trade. This is a bold move, Cotton, if Whisper did do a one hard, though, as you say. Oh, and here comes Vagabond.
Yep. Vagabond said, I'm not going to deal with Inquisitor. I'm going to go after some softer, juicier targets.
Smart. Very smart.
OGP does have a target lock on the bomber now.
And that makes a lot of sense because if he's going to have a shot on anybody, it's going to be the bomber. But the bomber is going into block position. So,
man. Well, right now, his position does not block the one bank.
Exactly.
But if he did a barrel roll, would it block then? I don't think so, no. But
I think it might. It might go a little too far, but I think you have to if you were hoping for a block. You have to try the barrel roll.
Well, it depends what the interceptor did. Maybe the interceptor dialed in the 2 bank, and then by barrel rolling, you open yourself up for the interceptor to come in to do the block, and then now the bomber will have a shot onto Vader.
Yeah, that's fair. So Patrick did do the barrel roll. It's hard to know whether that was an attempt to block the 2 hard or an attempt to block the 1 bank. I don't think he blocks the 1 bank. I think instead he gets flanking position if Vader did do that. But as we know, Vader isn't going to be able to barrel roll again. This also potentially suggests, let's take a look at the TIE Advanced dial, what those blues are.
Has a 1 bank, 2 banks, and a 3 forward.
Yeah, the 2 bank could be his blue move here. It doesn't unlock Afterburners, though. Okay, there goes...
Block is coming in, too.
Oh, man, if Grand Inquisitor did that 1 hard turn, that'd be so beautiful.
Yeah, I'm kind of suspecting Grand Inquisitor is going to do a bank of some kind. But if Patrick called this, then Rick's in a world of hurt.
Yeah, the other move I was considering for Grand Inquisitor was a 3 bank or 3 hard turn.
Yeah.
And just assume that the strikers are going to run past you,
Yep.
And then the Grand Inquisitor could then come around and start again, go for OGP in the corner, and then make a wide flanking maneuver.
Yeah, given the squirreliness and the options of the strikers, in Patrick's position, I kind of go fast with Grand Inquisitor just to avoid getting blocked and potentially picked off, right? And also because it doesn't hurt you to go between those two gas clouds and come around on OGP and whatever else is still going to be fighting in that engagement area. I mean, it looks to me like Patrick picked, the engagement to be between those three rocks, essentially, right? In other words, if that's what he picked, then he's getting what he wants.
I want to see that interceptor boost forward, and then Vader is, I think, done.
Well, if Vader did the 3 forward, to get a pass like we suspected he might do, just to get out of dodge, then those two guys are pointing at space. So it really depends on what Rick thought they would do.
Well, the fact that he did that linked into the barrel roll, I feel like he wanted to do come back out and then bank in to get a shot.
Yeah.
And if he had just wanted to go forward, he would just done a 5 forward and called it a day. So much easier and less problematic that way.
Do you think maybe he was worried about the interceptor being still able to block him if he had done a 3 forward from his previous position?
Well, he wasn't stressed in his previous position, so he could have done a 5 forward at that point.
True.
And if you were going offensive, then you would do the barrel roll out, kind of like a mini decloak, right? You barrel out, bank in to open your angle up a little bit wider. But since Patrick called it almost perfectly, I don't know. Maybe he read his mind or something, because that was an incredible...
like I said, these guys have played a lot of games against each other. Patrick and Rick have both been part of the Militant Casuals since basically the beginning, and have been two of our most successful tournament players. Rick has, come in top 4 or top 2 in a lot of store champs, and has made cut in other big events. Patrick has also made some great cuts. All right, so we have Grand Inquisitor going past Pure Sabak, not with a bank, but with just a 3 forward. Now, of course, he's got repositioning choices. He chooses the boost to the right, and Grand Inquisitor will be Sir not appearing in this combat phase.
Yep, so most likely Grand Inquisitor will be out for another turn and a half. There's that one turn from Whisper.
Oh, Daniel, you nailed it. Well done.
Whisper doesn't have passive sensor. Yeah, so he'll just probably focus up here most likely. And then we'll watch the... What do you think? 1 bank, 2 bank? I think he did a 2 bank.
You think Vader did a 2 bank? Yep. I think he did a 1 bank. But he should have done a 3 forward.
Maybe he did do a 3 forward.
Watch him do a 5 forward and then afterburners, because he's you can still afterburners while stressed.
That would be probably like the best move he could have made. And by the way, that leaves Whisper super vulnerable to Vagabond. So he does have that going for him if Vader doesn't get killed here. Oh.
Wait, what?
Look at that. He does not expect to have a shot on Vader. He cloaks here.
Oh, 1 bank.
No, 1 bank.
That's... Oh, wow. So he was so worried about Vagabond that he gave up a shot at Vader.
Oof, I feel like that was a mistake. I think Whisper with a Force... Because he would have a 5th Brother Force, a Focus, and Evade. And I think he would have been perfectly fine. I think this is a mistake.
All right, so Vader's only shot here is from way downtown with no target lock. So one hit.
Blank hit.
Yep.
Lots of evades.
Plenty.
I'm sorry. That's Rick is turning over a table right now.
Yeah. Yes,
but
I'm
of
only
course,
here for comedic effect.
But of course, Whisper's not going to fire this turn, so he's got that going for him. We're not sure who got checked there, but it was probably both Whisper and Grand Inquisitor and Pure Sabak. So we're going to move down to, let's see.
That'd be the bomber.
Yeah, the bomber and then Vagabond first. So we've got the bomber rolling 3
Bomber
dice.
into Vader.
Hit crit blank into Vader.
Reroll. Ooh. Hit crit.
And that's another shield.
That's another shield.
All in all, not the worst thing that happened.
No. I mean, Vader still has, he's not at half points. He could have been in much worse shape if Whisper had fired 2. So, and Vader has more move options now. So he's not getting blocked by either of the guys who blocked him this turn. Now Vagabond's firing on Whisper.
Blitz.
Natty Patty strikes again with the focus blank.
Natty Patty.
Or yeah, Rick. Rick got the focus blank, and of course then quadruple evade because of course. And if Rick had not turned over a table yet, he just did.
Are we talking about dice variants? Beginning of all this.
I mean, we don't have to. All right, so we're at the end of round 3.
Yep.
And moving into round 4. So now it's kind of a different game with Whisper not having taken a shot that turn. And,
what the hell does Whisper do now?
Yeah, I mean, Whisper's got 2 potential decloaks. Definitely not going to go to the right, so that really, it's not a huge limitation, but it limits him a little bit. Let's go with you, Tommy. Let's think about Patrick's position here. What do you do if you're Patrick? You've got 2 stress ships, a cloaked Whisper, and then Grand Inquisitor who's like, a fight? What fight?
You run away. Let's see. So the bomber and interceptor will be doing something blue. So maybe turning toward the OGP, clear their stress to engage the next round. Whisper, do you decloak forward, run behind Vader, and regroup with your 2 blockers? And then Grand Inquisitor will slowly make his way around.
Yeah, I think Grand Inquisitor has probably got the easiest choice here, right? The big question, and I'll pose this to you, Daniel, is what should Whisper do here? I feel like you can't decloak left and join the fight on OGP anymore, because if you do, you've got probably 2 strikers behind you. So I think I'm with team decloak forward, get the fuck out of Dodge. Daniel, what do you think?
So Interceptor's going to R2 turn towards OGP, maybe barrel roll or boost depending on what OGP does.
Yep.
The bomber maybe 2 bank over Vader towards the left side of the board, and then again reposition slightly. I want to say Whisper again. I agree that decloak forward sounds safer, but I'm going to say he does a 4K.
Oh, ballsy.
I mean, I'm a little more. I am also a bit more aggressive in terms of my play style, ever so slightly. So the safer play obviously is just decloak forward, 4 forward, and then either recloak or something and come around that rock around the bottom right corner. But I would imagine Vader does some fast move to not get shot and just kind of regroup because Vader's hurt. Maybe Vader goes hunt after Grand Inquisitor. But Whisper might get some free shots on him this turn.
But here's what I worry about in that case. So OGP can do a 1 bank and coordinate Vader again. Maybe even a 2 bank and coordinate Vader. That gives OGP a target lock on, he could even coordinate a target lock to Vader, right? Coordinate a target lock to Vader. Vader uses a force to get a focus. What if Vader 4Ks here? And you did that as, Whisper. Does that scare you?
Yes. So if he does, yeah, because you can't do anything at that point. Yeah, it's just going to kind of be again, who can read the other person's mind better.
I'm telling Rick he needs to turn off the stream. Actually, Daniel, can you go into their room and tell him to turn off the stream? Because the thing is, like, I think, from my perspective, Whisper needs to play a little bit more conservatively. Because if you're Patrick, you're ahead, right? I think if I were Patrick, I do decloak 2 forward, and then I think I probably try to get out of the, do maybe a 2 bank or whatever, and just come back next turn. Next turn to add to the combat on the OGP or wherever Vader ends up. Because the last thing I want to do if I'm Whisper is take, a fully modded attack from a coordinated Vader, personally.
Okay, Rick said he had turned off the stream a while back, so we're good.
You're a good man, Rick. If you watch this later, you're a good man.
Only in this instance.
True. Fair. So, as previous, Rick's got his dials ready. Patrick is thinking through his options more thoroughly. Again, not to say that either of them is doing things better than the other. They're just different play styles. And here we go.
He's all set.
All right, so we'll have the OGP going first. I think a 2 bank to the left.
Oh, well, decloak first.
Oh, yes, of course, decloak first. Let's see what Patrick does here. Thank you, Daniel.
Okay, there's the decloak 2 forward.
Yep, there he gets his free evade, and now we'll see what the OGP does. Hopefully Rick didn't have to go pee again.
No, number 2.
Who does number 2 work for? All right, left bank 1. So, not a terrible move, and, I would have probably done a 2 bank just to gain some distance, but I don't think either was more right than the other. Also, I would want to make sure that I have range 2 to Vader, so I probably would have erred with a bit longer move myself, but that's, again, it works out.
Like he's okay. It looks like he's okay for the
course. Yeah, he should be fine. That looks easily range 2 to me. But I guess we'll see. Now, the good thing for Rick here is whatever Vagabond does, Vagabond's going to be pretty vulnerable to that 3-die shot from the OGP. So Patrick's got to keep that in mind, too. It's going to affect his token choice and his, action choice for Vagabond.
Wait, no, Vagabond belongs to Rick.
Oh, duh. Never mind.
It's okay. The alcohol is settling in. It's okay.
It is. All right, so Brandon Carey in chat is saying that we need more verbal typos from you, Tommy. So that is, by the way, for those of you who are listening, Tommy's brand is typos.
Yes.
we love Tommy very, very much. Obviously, if you ever get into a text chat with him, you will have no idea what he's trying to say like 50% of the time.
Get used to it.
You do get used to it. We now deeply understand your typos, but anybody new would just be lost.
I may trust autocorrect a little bit too much. That only helps when I'm not mistyping things by, 3 or 4 characters.
Yeah. So not sure what's holding up things here, but OGP has not taken an action. It is possible that I'm a lightweight. It is also possible that I'm on my second of an 8.1% Belgian triple ale. So,
speaking of which, since we're in a lull, I am going to go vote.
Hey, look at that. So
OGP just focuses?
The OGP focuses. It does not coordinate Vader. So that's pretty interesting. So that suggests that Vader's not doing any kind of crazy 4K move. Now, the Vagabond has also done its boost left and then a 1 forward. So trying to maybe, close a bit of a kill box on the OG. Sorry, I don't even know what it's called. The GSA, is that what the bomber is? Yeah, the
Yeah, it's
GSA.
like
Yeah.
Gamma Squadron
Ace.
Ace, I think.
Yeah.
I
And
think
the
in
Ace,
this
as you
case,
call Daniel, does do a bank to clear that stress.
If I was Rick, I actually would have considered a faster move with Vagabond, just because I know there's almost no way for the bomber or interceptor to get a shot on Vagabond this round. I want to get that, juicier range shot, either range 2 or range 1.
Yeah, I'm actually, the boost I think obviously was easy to call. I agree. I'm actually surprised Vagabond didn't, put more pressure on Patrick here. I agree.
I'm not sure why the caution, since
Well,
interceptor and the bomber is stressed.
I mean, I guess it makes some sense, if you think about the fact that, Rick is probably pretty aware he's playing from behind at the moment, and that a wrong move with Vader could be pretty problematic here, right? But, conservative probably doesn't win the game. And there's the too hard that we all expected. Blue too hard to clear stress. As Daniel said, looking at where this puts the GSA, I wouldn't be surprised to see some kind of reposition here, probably. I think you could fit a boost.
You could, but the closer you get, the more risk of putting yourself in the GSP's front arc.
Yeah,
I would just probably be tempted to just stay there and focus.
Well, it looks like Patrick is chaining this together. I boost if I'm him. Not a barrel roll. Barrel roll. Oh, barrel rolls to the other side. Well, Patrick is squirrely like that. Now the real question is, did that leave him with an obstructed shot where before he didn't have an obstruction? Do you think that barrel roll was to clear space perhaps for whatever Whisper is doing?
It's very likely, yeah, because I think if he stayed where he was, if he did the 4 forward or 4K, it might have blocked at that position.
Yeah.
But based on my just like eye angle, it looks like it's still a clear shot to the OGP from the interceptor.
That corner doesn't look like it's close to the rock.
Okay. So you guys think that he maintained the unobstructed shot, probably range 2 either way.
Yeah, range 2 either way. He also might have done the barrel roll to avoid being shot by Vagabond.
Yeah, and this does kind of leave him clear to do a too hard, probably to the left safely next turn to clear that stress again.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Which
you know what?
Brandon just mentioned.
By the way, also this opens up the ability for Whisper to now barrel roll to that spot that the interceptor was in, and potentially dodge arc on the OGP.
Oh, that's really tight though. I don't know if that I don't know if that dodges it.
I'm not sure either. It is pretty tight. I definitely agree. But he probably also needs that space to make sure he doesn't get shot by pure Sabak. That's probably not range 3.
Looks like it's 3.5 maybe.
Yeah. But there's that barrel roll I expected anyway. So I think that probably as much as anything explains the barrel roll from the interceptor.
Yep, that makes sense.
All right, so now what does Vader do? 3 forward. I suspect he's going to bank to the left here with afterburners.
I don't think you need to afterburners. I typically like to save my afterburners charges just when I'm in trouble.
I'm a crazy
just to reposition to get a better turn for next turn. I don't feel like I don't want to waste my charges. So I only afterburners if I'm getting shot by a whole bunch. If I afterburners I won't get shot, then I'll do it.
Yeah. Well, here he's taken 2 shots. Now he could kill Vagabond pretty easily. No, Vagabond's his friend. Never mind.
It's his friend. Yeah, he's taking no shots.
He's no shot. So Vader, you're right. Vader doesn't have to worry about it at all. So Vader can do whatever the hell he wants.
Target lock.
He could. Okay, so he's target locking the bomber. Are you guys surprised he didn't target lock Whisper.
I don't think he'll have arc on Whisper next for a turn or two.
Well, Whisper has nowhere to decloak next turn except left.
Cloaked. Whisper isn't cloaked at the moment.
No, but
Right,
he's gonna
has
shoot.
evade.
Yeah, he's gonna shoot the OGP. He's gonna have 2 evades. He's fine.
So now, since he barrel rolled, I think Whisper still fits to the left for decloak, but that's real tight. And
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
now Vader is in a nice position. If Vader wants to 4K, he could 4K and get a shot on Whisper.
Yeah.
Because you can still afterburners after you 4K.
He turn and try and take on the Grand Inquisitor.
So it looks like Grand Inquisitor does have a shot on Pure Sabak that is unobstructed, and I would absolutely take that shot and spend a force to get 3 dice for sure here.
Let's see. Yep, Pure Sabak is unobstructed.
Yep.
Spending the force.
Ooh, that blank is tough. Oh!
Ooh.
Rick returns some of the natty evade to Patrick here.
All right, Whisper's up next. Probably a range 1 shot. Yep.
Yep. It does look like Whisper is in arc for the shot
Oh
back.
yeah, so
Ooh, worst case scenario on that roll almost.
The crit.
well, he does have fifth brother, so he
Yeah,
can
I'm not
make
sure.
That's true.
Do you guys spend it here or keep it? Yep. All right. Well, Patrick,
Oh, you
Spend it
spend
just
it.
to force the.
take a
Yeah,
shield.
because he gets another evade, so he'll have 2 evades.
Fair
which is
point.
Better than single force and single evade.
He's going to want to keep one of those evades for the recloak, though, right?
Of course, but having another one just helps. Like basically, he's trading 1 force for 1 evade token, and that's always going to be better in his situation.
All right. Sabak with no shot.
Range 2 from the interceptor.
Yeah. So unobstructed, as you guys said.
Ouch.
That's a great roll for Natty Patty. That's not a great roll for Rick, but got to spend that focus. Keep your shields as much as you can.
I would have just taken the damage because he had enough shields to soak it up. Then now you have a range 1 shot back onto Whisper 4 dice of focus.
If you have it, right? That's the question.
I'm pretty sure he has it.
Let's see. Vagabonds, no shots
One has range 3
Yes,
on
range 3
Bomber,
on
Whisper.
on Whisper.
With the Bomber.
No, I think you try to strip both those evades, personally.
Oh no, I'm just being facetious.
We don't know who he shot at.
Hits.
So that was against Whisper.
Yeah, I think I
Looks
agree.
like Whisper. Yeah.
And there you just spend an evade easily.
Well,
No, it was on the bomber.
It was on the bomber.
It was on the bomber.
Hey.
Bomber takes a hit. I mean, I guess, you're going against no tokens.
Yes, he has a range 1 OGP into Whisper.
He does. All right. See, that's another reason I think that you fire at Whisper.
Just watch him roll like 4 eyeballs.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, right? Like, if you suspected you had range 1, oh my god.
It's fine.
It's fine.
No consequences. It's
Natty
fine.
Patty. That's going to be... I mean, you spend one of those evades and you still
Spend
take
one of
2
those
hits.
evades.
Wow. Now imagine you had stripped one
That's
of those
only 1
evades.
hit, right? I see 3 hits.
No, it's 4 hits and 2 evades. You don't get to add evade to your dice anymore. So that's 2 hits.
No, I can't read.
It's okay.
The man can't read and he can't type.
What are you drinking, Tommy?
I'm just having some Blue Moon that I stockpiled before the shelter in order.
There you go.
The shelter in place order.
Ooh, so that's a rough turn for Patrick. So let's, as we get back to dials here, what do you guys think about each player's position? Let's start with you, Daniel.
Like position they did last turn or going into this new turn?
Like how do we feel about where they are in the match, if that makes sense?
So last turn, I was really feeling that Rick was in a good position because because Patrick had his ships kind of pointed the wrong way. They were stressed. I don't think Rick capitalized it all too well this turn. I mean, he took 2 shields off Whisper, which is great. He took, I think, did the bomber take 1 damage? He took 1 damage from the bomber.
Bomber took a damage.
But his OGP is pretty hurt with 3 shields. Actually, you know what? I take it back. He took out 2 shields in Whisper, 1 damage on the bomber, and only lost 3 shields on OGP. No, Rick did well that turn.
I kind of feel like Rick, was a little bit behind going into this turn. Granted, I agree with you that it was clear that Patrick's ships were going to be out of position for this turn, right? But with Whisper taking that, the 2 shields, this really narrows that margin for Patrick here, right? In other words, I feel like
exactly.
Rick had a great turn.
And the only thing that I think, like you were talking about, is if Vader had done that 4K, coordinate the lock to him, do a 4K, Vader would have been in a brilliant position to punch Whisper more.
Yeah, I think Whisper would be dead, given those rolls.
He still had 1 evade at the end, and Vader would have rolled with 3 force, potentially with a focus and a lock.
I mean, I would have coordinated the lock. You could have spent the force to get a focus.
A focus token, yep. So you have focus lock and 2 force.
Yeah.
Against Whisper, probably range 3 from that position.
Yeah.
Whisper, I think the math is he takes 1 more damage.
Okay. So
range 2 is the afterburners, right?
Rick still has all his afterburners here. If you're Patrick, do you even decloak this turn? Do you take the risk that you get blocked by Vader?
I would probably stay cloaked, but that's me playing very conservative.
I also would stay cloaked this round unless you think you can do some weird move where you can block someone, but I don't think you can block someone with a decloak this turn.
Yeah. So we're probably looking at a not decloak and just kind of 4 forward or something from here.
He could decloak, 4 forward, and recloak. That's still a valid strategy as well.
Yeah.
For
sure.
The bomber just turns in. Everyone just kind of turns in. I want to see Inquisitor go fast. Inquisitor needs to get in there and do like a 4 forward. And his 4 forward is white, not blue. So he can do a 3 forward, and just get into the fight because he needs to help assist.
Yep.
And if you're Rick, do you turn everybody toward Grand Inquisitor at this point, expecting him to come in? You can get what? Vader, OGP, and Sabak shots on the Grand Inquisitor.
I don't think so. Just because of the way that the bomber and interceptor and whisper are located, you have a better chance of getting shots on target down that way. And Inquisitor is kind of a trap sometimes to shoot because he can just double force and evade, and he can take almost no damage.
Yeah, the thing to note from here, just from a points perspective, is right now the only ship that has given up points is Vagabond. So, from a pure points perspective, Patrick isn't in lead. It's a pretty tenuous lead because he's lost the shields on Whisper, and that really, 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 if I were in Patrick's shoes, because I think I'm a more, Patrick is methodical, but I think I'm a more conservative player than he is. I would be gritting my teeth right now. Because it's not going to be hard for Whisper to die to an unfortunate series of dice rolls here. So let's see. Rick's got his dials down. Patrick is keeping all of his dials basically in his player board until he's ready to move them all. But continuing our trend of Rick's ready before Patrick.
Which means I'm going to get another adult beverage.
That's fair. So, Patrick's in the lead point-wise. I'm not so sure he's in the lead positionally. What do you think, Daniel?
Oh no, I totally agree. The bomber and the interceptor have very predictable moves this turn.
Yeah.
That's why I was saying it's really easy to get Vagabond and Pure Sabak and just bully one of them. For example, if Vagabond kind of banks downwards towards the bottom, same with Pure Sabak, he can get all those shots onto the bomber. And this is a turn that I would consider Vader doing a 3. Ooh, there's a bump.
Oh, so we've started the round, and the OGP did a 1 bank towards Whisper, and Whisper did not decloak as we suspected he would not. And that left the OGP with a bump and no action. So that's going to take us now to Vagabond.
Vagabond. But yeah, so it looks like he's trying to capitalize on the bomber, because the bomber has to do a 2-turn or 3-turn. Oh, I think he overshot there.
Well, I think that might block it too hard.
No, because he's off the board. He's off the board.
Oh, you think Vagabond can't do a bank hard turn next turn?
It's gonna be tight.
It is gonna be tight, but I think he'll be okay. I think he'll do a bank hard turn and be okay. I mean, he's only got 1 health, right? So if he's there to block and die, then whatever.
I mean, if he makes it to the next round, he could barrel roll back and try and gain a little bit more room.
Ooh,
hey, look, he
didn't block the too hard. Well, he's going to extract his pound of flesh on that bomber before he goes. That's for sure.
Actually, the bomber may have just saved him, because he can do a 1 bank aileron to the left, bump into the OGP, and then he'll be safe. So he actually just saved
this is why we have Daniel on, because Daniel is far smarter than I am. So that is true. He probably did just save Vagabond's life. Clearly, Rick was planning on that.
Calculated.
All right, so
what if the bomber just barrel rolls out?
Well, I don't think it's got space. I think maybe a barrel roll left and forward maybe stays on. Well, but it doesn't look like that's what...
You know what? I take it back. He has room. My screen was kind of cropped, so I thought there was a lot less room.
Gotcha.
So I thought my screen was at a point. Yeah, he's fine.
So
barrel made it.
Yep, barrel roll makes it. He's still in arc, but
he's
not
still
in
arc.
And he probably still at range 1.
What? It's yeah.
But I understand. Certainly that opens up more moves maybe for the GSA next turn.
There's Pure Sabak.
Yeah, Pure Sabak's got his boost, and then he did turn towards Gink.
Grand Inquisitor.
Yep, expecting that 3 forward. So that's a pretty good move for Pure Sabak. May not have a shot, but will definitely be in Gink's way. All right. So there's the 2 hard.
There's that rock. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Wow, that is pretty close to that rock, but as we expected, it's fine. It occurs to me now as we look at Whisper, if he did do just a 4 forward, he is going to take a butt shot from the OGP. There's the 3 forward we expected from the Grand Inquisitor. He will get to fire.
Can he boost out of that?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I think he ends up inside Pure Sabak with either boost. I honestly, if I'm Grand Inquisitor, I probably just go ahead and
Take the evade.
take the evade and hope that you do more damage, because he can spend the force to reduce the number of dice Pure Sabak is throwing, though that's still kind of
Correct.
brutal. So he's got to do the damage first and hope that he can push through. This is a tough choice for Patrick here. That was a great move by Rick to put a tough decision on Patrick's lap.
It depends what you think Vader's doing. If Vader's going to go up towards Inquisitor as well, then the Inquisitor is in a world of trouble, because then
Yes,
he'll
he
have
is.
two really big, heavy shots into him. The other thing you have to consider: Pure Sabak has crack shot.
Oof. I wonder if Patrick remembers that.
So that's why I was saying, even if you don't think it's going to do you a benefit, I would still barrel roll, because getting crack shot against by Pure Sabak is no good. Like, just barrel rolling to the outside and to the back or something.
Yeah, barrel roll, take stress, take a focus.
Yeah, because then Inquisitor will still have a shot, potentially can reduce Pure Sabak's health down and make him only roll 3 dice and no crack shot. Versus right now it's 3 dice-ish, 3 or 4 dice with a crack.
And of course, Grand Inquisitor's already missing a shield from the first engagement, so that really, really does potentially hurt.
Yeah, just based on what I'm seeing so far this round, I definitely think Rick had the better play.
There's the barrel roll.
Yeah.
There's the focus.
Yeah, and of course, this leaves Grand Inquisitor with a terrible decision next turn.
Rock. In which direction he wants to hit the rock? What are the blues on the V1? Oops.
Hard one bank, and like 2, 3 forward, I think.
Oh, so Whisper's blocked.
Yeah, but Whisper's in a good enough position right now. Whisper's nothing really bad's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Whisper doesn't really move. It's fine.
Doesn't move, isn't going to take any shots, but probably not what Patrick was hoping for.
No, I think that.
That's probably fine.
Yeah.
Next turn, Whisper just candy canes. Hard 2 out to the right and back, hard 1 back in, or not hard 2, but 2 decloak to the right. Okay, he's going hunting for Inquisitor now.
The locks, spend the force. Is he out of Sabak's arc? Is Grand Inquisitor out of Sabak's arc? Yes.
That's real close.
Yeah, I can't tell.
What move did the Pure Sabak do? It was
Left
a
bank and then a left
1
hard.
hard. Yeah, okay.
There's Roland.
Was that a range 2?
Range 2. Or actually, it says range 1.
Oh, he spent the force. That's where it is. I see it now. He spent the force to reduce
There it goes.
Yep.
Rick spends a force.
Hit crit.
Hit a crit. It's a hit.
Looks like he's spending his force, so make it 2 evade, so just 1 more shield on Grand Inquisitor, and Grand Inquisitor is now at half points.
And of course, if he spends that force, though, of course, now he can't do the same thing to Pure Sabak. He can't reduce.
Right. That is assuming that Pure Sabak
has arc. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
Who's he shooting? I don't think I'm not sure who he's shooting right
I think
now.
this is Grand Inquisitor's
shooting
firing, right? At
It
I5?
Yeah.
looks like into Vader.
Vader.
Yeah, and it looks like Vader
Yeah.
is going to take a hit, and he's going to go to half points as well.
All right, there you go. Oh man, I hope Patrick judged that Pierce Sabak arc, because if he didn't, that's gonna be messy.
Ooh, here's a tough question. Do you take the range 3 shot on Vader here? I don't think so. I think you have to do 4 dice into the OGP and get half points there.
Yeah, I will take the OGP shot. That's just safer because he still has to focus.
Yeah.
Ooh, he's out.
Ooh, that's good, right? But it's also, Grand Inquisitor could potentially take that hull damage on that rock this next turn.
Flip the crit, draw the direct hit.
Oof. 2 hits into the.
Yep. So OGP is also at half points now, I believe.
Yeah. He forgot to take the last shield off, but he got it there. Yep. So, yep, the OGP is at half. Vader's at half. So Patrick leaves this turn still in the lead, unless Vagabond kills the bomber here. Maybe.
Just possible.
Not bad.
Yeah, it's a pretty good roll. It confirmed that it was range 1. All right, 2 hits. Bomber's at half. Because the bomber took damage before, right? I don't think Patrick remembered to reduce the bomber's hull.
If I can do that.
It looks like he's just pulling cards. He's just putting the cards by the damage by his cards on this board. Who is shooting? Oh, OGP is shooting now.
Shooting at the bomber. 3 blanks.
And
then re-rolling to 1. And another table gets flipped. All right, well, the bomber's going to get 3 dice here. And it's just enough.
He's fine.
Yep.
All right, that should be the end of this round. They should clean up now, right?
That's into round 6. So we're halfway through our game. In pure points, Patrick is still pretty far ahead, I think, especially having gotten half points on Vader. Probably the price is piece.
Yeah, because Patrick has taken half points on 3 of Rick's ships. OGP's at half, Vader's at half, and
Vagabond.
What's his name? Vagabond's also at half.
Yep.
On the flip side, Whisper is still slightly above half.
Yep.
Only Inquisitor and the Bomber are half, which are, a little bit less than half of his list.
Yeah, the Bomber's nothing, right?
Bomber's 30 points.
Yeah. So it's still anybody's game, and the Pure Sabak probably is going to have to really struggle to get a shot this turn. The Grand Inquisitor any number of bad things could happen to Grand Inquisitor going over that rock. Vader's got options. If OGP doesn't get blocked, he's going to have the ability to coordinate to Vader. So Vader's got lots of options here. The real question is kind of, what does Whisper do now? Whisper could decloak right or left. What do you guys do in Patrick's place?
Candy cane. So decloak to the right and back, and then hard 1 in.
Tommy, the players are asking for a points check, if you don't mind giving them the heads up.
Want me to do math after 2 beers? All right.
It doesn't matter if it's right. We have a prediction. I think this is Vince in chat who is saying that the Saber Squadron is going to be the unsung hero of this game, and that's not wrong. I mean, that is the strength of the Interceptor platform. Is it's got a great dial, and even the generic can do pretty great things. And he's going to move after the OGP, so he's going to have whatever he wants to do, unless the OGP is cheeky and hard stops here. But I don't think I would do that. I think I would right bank one and coordinate Vader so Vader can do a 4K and just take a butt shot on whoever's behind me. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I like the one bank because then you also threaten the bomber in the corner over there.
Doing math. Hold on.
And yeah, Vader could very easily do a 4K. What else does he have? Vagabond just does a one bank into a one hard turn.
Yeah, that's maybe the only thing that worries me if I'm Patrick with Whisper candy caning right. Is will Vagabond get a sort of unobstructed shot and sort of one where Whisper can't PS kill him.
It's 79 to 38 if I'm doing my math right.
All right, so Patrick has a 79 to 38 lead. I will go ahead and let Rick know that.
Right, because all we have is half points on the Bomber and the Inquisitor at this point for Patrick.
Yes, correct.
All right, then my math should be correct, unless I'm rounding wrong.
All right,
no, that sounds about right.
That sounds right. I've let the players know. I've let Rick know. He'll probably lie to Patrick though.
We're painting Rick in an awesome color.
If we weren't here to wreck Rick,
we'd probably be gentler if he didn't have the first pick in the draft, but not by much.
Rick is now disputing your math, Tommy. He doesn't understand that the Bomber is only 30 points. Okay. Now he does.
Bomber's a piece of shit.
He's very upset. Vince thinks it's 41
naked Bomber.
for Rick. 15 for the Bomber and 26 for GI.
Yes.
Does that sound right?
I can't do that. Yeah.
Okay.
I probably typoed something.
That's fine. Rick should be able to do this math. He's supposed to know his opponent's list. We are absolutely professionals here doing this stream for the very first time. We know exactly what we're doing.
I've done this twice.
Yes. For those of you who don't know, Tommy was a guest on the Gold Squadron podcast stream from Las Vegas, and that gave him a very, very big head having done that. Daniel, of course, is well known within the Gold Squadron community for all that he has done for Fly Better and for Gold Squadron. So.
Yeah, I'm just nobody. Don't worry about me.
No, the only nobody on this podcast is me. I guess this isn't a podcast; it's a stream, but whatever.
I mean, of the three of us, you were the only one to get top 8, I think.
I was fifth at the Seattle System Open, and then got wrecked in the cut. So
it's fine. There are only 6 people watching us anyway.
We're all store champs, right?
I believe so.
Daniel, you're a store champ, right?
Yep, I have one.
Yeah, okay. So we're all store champs. I guess that's all that matters.
Because Rick isn't one.
No, but Rick did win a Prime championship, so.
But did he fly to like Oregon to do it?
No, he went to Spokane, Washington.
He flew to Spokane and
he seal
clubbed
clubbed
some seals. Yes.
Hey, look, the Bay Area is ruthless. That's what you do. If you need an invite to Worlds, you go kick the shit out of people in Spokane, Washington. That's just what you do. See, the thing.
That's why Ben moved to Eugene.
We're called militant casuals, and that's because some of us are more casual than militant, and some of us are more militant than casuals. And Rick absolutely falls on the militant side of things in his quest for glory. So
some of us vary depending on what day of the week it is.
Anyway, it doesn't really matter how many people are listening or watching this stream. We do this. I wanted to do this primarily because. Again, we're all socially isolated right now, and this tournament was intended to, try to give folks some of the X-wing play they wouldn't otherwise get, and help and continue to build our, militant casuals community. Militant casuals is a weird group because we're not an exclusive squadron in any way, shape, or form. We're happy if somebody wants to be both militant and casual. You are welcome to join us at any time. That's just stickers. What's that?
We've got stickers and tokens.
Yeah, we've got stickers, we've got tokens, we've got all sorts of crazy stuff. Our origin story is silly. We were called, a couple of us, Matt and I, were TOs who were sort of not doing the sorts of tournaments that more hardcore players wanted us to do to prep them for tournaments, and we got called militant casuals in a situation where the thing that somebody was mad about wasn't even our doing. And so, when you get called a militant casual and you realize how metal that name is, you just adopt it. So Tommy made some shirts. One of those was pink glitter shirt that Rick wore, and we were off to the races.
It was gold glitter with pink camo.
Sorry. This is the start of. Tommy, did you increment from 6 to 7?
I did. Or
5 to 6.
Right.
Yeah, sorry, we're in round 6. We're not halfway through. It's not quite round 7 yet. Anyway,
Vagabond went the other direction.
Yeah, he sure did. He's going for that bomber.
She's only 15 points. But hey, what do I know?
And we even clarified that for Rick. But whatever. Rick is who Rick is. That bomber is probably toast this turn one way or the other.
It does get a range 1 shot on the OGP, though.
Before he dies horribly.
It could barrel roll, and I think it'll take it out of at least 1 arm.
Yeah, it also could just... I mean, it's if it... Oh, he did. Well...
Take the luck.
Yeah.
It was in range 1 either way.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like knowing that you're going to die to Vagabond anyway, you focus up and just put damage on OGP, but I'm not a very good player, so...
Unless the Interceptor is turning around to try and plink off that 1...
Yeah, I suppose. If the Interceptor did do a too hard and boosts in to try to take out Vagabond, I suppose he would be safe.
And Rick does a sloop with pure Sabak.
Yep.
I would consider like a 3-turn, or do they have 3 turns? Maybe a 2-turn coming in just around the corner there, just to give him better position for the following turn.
What are we talking about, Daniel?
For pure Sabak, instead of doing a sloop that way, because Grand Inquisitor has to move forward somehow.
Strikers only have 2 turns.
Yeah, so then do a 2-turn instead. So he would have been to the right of Grand Inquisitor at the moment if he had done a 2-turn.
So as we sort of expected, the Saber has done a left turn. He didn't do a very aggressive turn. It's just a 1 hard. So that leaves him kind of vulnerable to that butt shot from the GSA. I don't think a boost gets him out of arc and maintains a shot on Vagabond. So this is a tough question here. Now, Vagabond only has 1 health, so you could hope from here, which looks borderline range 2.
Looks like he's just taking the focus.
Yeah. And the OGP does have a target lock on that guy. There's Grand Inquisitor rolling through the rock. Let's see what the die roll is here.
Safe! Soft rock.
If Rick does that hard one, not Rick, excuse me. If Patrick did the hard one right there for Whisper, he does have
He
3
does.
guns on OGP. And he could very easily take out OGP in 1 turn before it shoots.
Yeah.
That is range. I think that's range 1 for the interceptor.
Right, so yeah, he'll have 3 dice with the bomber with a lock, possibly range 1 with the interceptor with the focus, and then Whisper has focus and force for the crit conversion.
Well, I will say we've gotten a really kind of fun back and forth game for our first stream, so I'm pretty happy about that at the very least.
Yes, the next games will all be horrible, folks, because the lists get much worse from here on out.
Yeah. All right, so Vader did do the K turn as we sort of expected, but not with a coordinated action, I don't think.
Oh. Yeah.
The GSA just took its target lock on the Saber, I think. Or sorry, the OGP. Yeah. But he did afterburners to put pressure on the Grand Inquisitor. So that's going to be an interesting shot here.
But there's no target lock, right?
No, there's no target lock. He also put Vader in kind of a weird position next turn because I think he's going over that rock himself.
Hits. 3 evades.
Natty Patty.
Natties
again.
all around. Not enough for Rick.
How many tables will Rick flip before the end of this match?
7. You can answer me later, but how many oh come ons have you said at this point?
Over under at about 7.5?
Yeah, I'd say so.
I'm not sure who was attacking that time.
It's Grand Inquisitor attacking the shuttle.
Yeah, it looks like it. What was that crit? I didn't see the crit.
That's Whisper. It's Whisper, and that was Blinded Pilot.
Oh, okay, I see. I got it. Okay, cool. All right, so OGP down to 3 health. It's very possible that Inquisitor, Interceptor, and the Bomber can take it out.
Yeah, that was Whisper on the OGP. OGP has a Blinded Pilot. So that target lock OGP took is now worthless. Now here's Grand Inquisitor's shot.
Range 2. Does he flip to force?
He does not.
No, he does not.
Okay, one more goes through. 2 health. All right, here's the question, guys. How greedy is Patrick?
Not very, typically.
Very. So he's.
So, because here's the thing.
He may just use the interceptor to shoot the shuttle.
Because the shuttle has 2 health. If you think a target lock bomber can take out the OGP, you use the interceptor to take out the 1 health vagabond.
Yeah, I think you fired Vagabond.
And then that saves your bomber.
Yeah, I think you take a chance at Vagabond for sure.
No, he went for the OGP.
He went for the OGP.
You went for OGP.
Interesting.
Hit.
Yeah,
OGP's dead anywhere.
Yeah, dead OGP. But again, if you were gambling and you needed it, that's the play right there.
Yeah, I think I shoot at Vagabond. I go for the twofer.
I think he made his decision when Vagabond was range 3.
Yeah, but that range 3 with the focus maybe saves the bomber, but
it's 15 points.
Yeah, it's true. That's fair. I mean, the shuttle is worth more than Vagabond, so
Right, here comes pure Sabak. Through a rock, range 3.
But with crack shot.
And Inquisitor has 1 focus. 1 force, sorry.
Yep. Ooh, that's a really good roll. So against 4 dice.
It's 5.
5 dice.
Spends the force.
But crack shot him.
Yeah, crack shot. He's got a crack shot for sure here.
Yeah. If he remembers.
Oh, come on, Rick.
There's a force.
Do you remember your list? Do you remember it?
Interrupt them.
No, it's a May.
Because
It's not a. It's a May.
It's a May. Yes, it is.
Missed opportunity.
He didn't crack shot? Is that what I missed?
He
not
did
crack
not.
shot.
He did not crack shot.
Who hits into the bomber? It lives.
Does it? Oh my god, the bomber lives. F for
Lives.
respect. Pay respects.
Man. So the bomber still has a shot, right?
Or there's there's nothing for the bomber to shoot.
Well, unless he has a shot at Vader, but I doubt it.
Yeah, I don't think it was a
Oh,
shot
that's
Vader.
way downtown.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, now what do we think?
It's a 3-hole Whisper against a 2-hole Vader and a pure Sabak.
Oh, Vagabond's still alive.
With the
And Rick's already like, I know what I'm doing.
yeah.
That first dial's already down. Second dial's already down. Oh, poor Vader.
Vader's got to clear that stress. So 2 bank. Vagabond does a 1 hard. No, can't do a 1 hard. 2 hard.
Yeah, he probably ailerons 1 bank
Boost.
into a. He could do a bank move. I don't see why not. I mean, Vagabond kind of just has to get in there and block stuff up. Just kind of get slightly in front of the bomber.
Interceptor and the bomber. Somewhere in between there.
Yeah, like so do like a 1 bank, and then just focus and just pray.
The bomber's got to do something blue.
I think the bomber does a 1 bank or 2 bank up towards Vader. Interceptor does a hard 1 towards Vader. Whisper, I don't know, decloak forward 1 bank and no, I don't know. I'm not sure about Whisper.
Cloak left and then 3 bank up and to the right.
I would keep if I was going to do that, I would just do a 1 bank, and then I would make the interceptor go first, so that you put the interceptor between you and Vader.
I mean, let's be honest here. Vader's in trouble because he's got to go over a rock. If Vader didn't have to go over a rock, this might be not the worst still position for Vader to be in as the only I6 on the board, right? Maybe the thing that Vader does have going for him here, though, is that he could go through the rock, and if he goes fast enough, afterburners, and then do actions off of that, right? As long as he clears that stress.
Right. Then his only move is a 3 forward, which
Yeah,
doesn't really put him in a good position. Well, it might. He could 3 forward, bank boost in, then focus lock off of that.
Yeah, I mean, it gives him an option he otherwise wouldn't have, right? Like any other ship in the game is just hosed here, right? But, if Rick sees this, it at least is...
It's okay. Vader's going to go over the rock, roll a crit, it'll be direct hit, and he'll die.
Oh, speaking of direct hits, are we allowed to look at their damage deck?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think we can. I think we
Technically-
can.
Technically, I can, but then it would show everybody what it is, so I'm not going to do that.
No. Can you go into the player, like his player hand, I guess? Take the top card, flip it, look at it, put it back, and put it back on top.
I don't know if when I flip it, if it will announce it to chat into the chat or not.
I think it will. Also, the thing about this is that the only person whom this is, like the destroyed ships crits or damage cards are as open information to is the player who those cards belong to. So I don't think we should probably
true.
go through and dig
Yeah.
into those cards.
But
we're
what we
new
should-
to we're new to streaming. It would be great if we could do this stuff, but
But what we should do, if Patrick ever draws another damage, I want you to keep a track of which card it was, and then we can flip it later on. Because if it was a direct hit, Inquisitor will be dead right now.
Gotcha.
If you remember the crack shot.
50-50 chance. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, no, not Vader. I meant on
Yeah, with
Grand
the Inquisitor. Yeah.
Because Pierce the Block had that crit. He could have pushed it through.
Yep.
That could have swung the game hard if Grand Inquisitor's off the board.
Well, also he could have triggered that with going over the rock, right? So that either of those could have swung the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but Rick
But,
had crack shot, and that was
That was on him.
supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I will go for a third beer.
All right, come on, guys. Some of us have to work tomorrow morning. All right, there we go.
Emails I send tomorrow morning may become more interesting as this game goes on.
Look, you didn't know what you were signing up for when I said you guys were going to be my commentators in as comrades. So
We're here for you, Ben. Cassian said we had to.
that's right, and I appreciate it. Okay, so Rick says, never mind.
Is he sending you a message? I don't see any chat messages.
Okay.
It's in the chat.
It's not. He's saying
The gas
that.
cloud.
So he's saying that the gas cloud was part of the obstruction, and so
Which is wrong.
I disagree with that, but whatever.
They're parallel to each other, so it's... Anyway.
Yeah, he's just realizing.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So the thing is that the gas cloud doesn't have to. They're parallel, so he doesn't have to choose the arc. So for those of you who are watching at home, we were criticizing Rick for forgetting the crack shot, but it appears that he didn't realize that because they were parallel, he could have chosen the arc that only goes through the rock and critted. Anyway, we're on to the next round. What do we got?
Looks like Whisper went ahead and decloaked. Left. And went back as far as possible. And there's the bomber. And there's a... Looks like Vagabond turned into the fight. And I think the bomber has arc. I am Ron Burgundy.
Oh, that is.
Yeah, honestly,
real
I don't think Vagabond is going to get a shot. I think Whisper takes him off the board.
Yeah. Try the barrel roll. Doesn't fit.
in Rick's defense, it is very late as we play this game. So,
Ooh.
you know.
No, whoa, hold on.
Whoa,
The bomber went too far.
Okay, we're good. We're good.
Okay, Ben. Whoever you have commentating next game, definitely do not be an observer. Be one of the other players. Whoops.
Wait, who's doing this?
Why is the bomber going back?
I think Patrick has gone insane.
Let me plop in there and yeah. I'm gonna pop into the chat.
He failed. He failed the action, so he shouldn't get another action to barrel roll. Put that bomber back where you found it.
He went to barrel roll right, but he barrel rolled left by mistake.
Okay.
So he's using the right click menu, which he should not do. PSA, folks, use control click on the ships. Don't use the right click menu. It sucks.
I will be at fault of this at least 3 times.
Okay, there's the hard one turn. Perfect position to initiative kill that vagabond.
Everybody shooting vagabond.
It's fine. Vader's going to solo this list. It's fine. I believe in you, Rick.
The interceptor probably focuses and then barrel rolls to the left.
Left?
Most likely.
Yeah, because if he barrel rolls
just
left,
avoid arc.
Yeah.
That gives room for Whisper to come up, depending on what Whisper did, because he might block Whisper.
Nope.
What?
Oh, he boosted, which suggests that Whisper is going at least 2 forward.
Yeah, that's probably right.
Grand Inquisitor, just get the hell out of Dodge.
Most likely, either 3 bank or something to that effect. Vagabond is not getting shot this turn, unless Grand Inquisitor did something weird.
I don't know that there's. I mean, unless he did like a 2 forward, maybe has arc.
He could have self blocked himself against the interceptor.
Yeah, I suppose. But then he does have force.
It's very weird. It's very weird. Yeah.
I think both of our players are tired.
Oh.
I mean.
Okay.
Okay. Sure. It's fine.
Worked.
Maybe our players are on 3 beers each. I mean, we are called militant casuals for a reason. Okay, so he did do the 3 forward.
All right, come on.
Well, roll the die first.
Roll. You're safe.
Yeah. Now, does he do the boost to the right?
I think so.
And target lock focus on Whisper. I mean, that's really his only chance. Yep, he does the boost, so there's his afterburners.
Yep, there we go. So afterburner charges are all spent.
That's a range 1 shot on Whisper. He has a very good chance at killing Whisper with the target lock focus.
It's not that great of a chance because he does have an evade token.
True.
So
yeah.
he will need a perfect, 4 hits on Vader and then double blanks.
He could just bowl forward with Sabak and try and get 2 shots on Whisper.
I think Sabak's already moved, and I don't think Sabak's got a shot.
Yeah, that's right. Because
what was Sabak's move?
Sabak,
is he stressed still?
I think that's Vader's stress.
Yeah, I think that stress was just not removed from earlier. I think you're right.
Okay, fair enough.
Oof, that is not what Rick needed here. Now he's going to have 2 crits before he spends the target lock here.
Right. It's not the worst.
It's not.
Yeah.
He forgot to change.
He forgot the crit.
Okay, he got it there.
Spend the force?
Yeah, spend the force.
Yeah, you gotta. Yep. So he spends his force, and he's hoping for double blank. for those 2 crits.
But ooh.
Oh my God, he got it. He's got a chance here.
Natty Patty is rolling natty
I mean,
blanks.
technically 2 blanks is natty. I mean, that's just what Natty Patty
So
does.
we have 2 crits coming in.
Yeah.
We gotta hope for not a direct hit.
All right, what do we got? First one is a loose stabilizer.
Stabilizer.
That's not going to do it. And the second one.
Da-da-da.
Oh,
Damage
the
engine.
damage
He's
engine.
fine. Everything's
Well,
fine. He's
yeah.
fine. But Vagabond has a beautiful range 1 shot on Whisper if he can survive against Grand Inquisitor.
Yep. And because of the block, Grand Inquisitor's only got his force to spend here. So
What does the map say? Is it better to spend the force on the extra die or to use it to save it for?
I think it's actually already range 1, so I don't think he needs to.
yeah, I think 3 dice versus 2
it is range 1.
Yeah, so you just keep the force for the potential focus results.
Ooh, that's not good.
Who's shooting? Is it Grand Inquisitor?
That was Grand. Let's
Inquisitor.
see. Yeah, that would be
he
Jank
did
on
a range check
Vagabond.
on Greg.
Worst possible outcome.
The question is, do you spend your? Oh, wait. He didn't spend his force.
Yes.
Oh, he did. Oh
No, he did.
He did. He did. Flip table number 5.
Yes.
And there's hopes and dreams. That, folks, is the sound of his hopes and dreams flying, getting smashed to bits.
And here comes 4 dice innovator with a focus. The map says 1 hit maybe goes through.
No, Vader. Oh no, he has a focus still. Yeah. Yeah. 1. No, he's fine. He's good.
Spend the focus and you're fine.
Poor Rick. Oh, Tommy, can you adjust Whispers? Like the ship marker to
down to 1, right?
reduce it by down to 1.
Let me put a.
Oh yeah, and put a crit token and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing: Sabak is still undamaged.
This is true.
So Rick does still have a chance here.
He has a puncher's chance.
I mean, he's got a 5 and a 6.
Hey Daniel, as the expert on 2 dice hits into Vader, or 2 dice attacks into Vader, that bomber still has a shot.
Yep. Unmodded shot into Vader.
Patrick's phone just died.
Yeah, I think all that means is that they're going to have to communicate in chat now.
Yeah.
But in terms of attacks, it's Pierce a box turn now, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And I believe if he shoots a Grand Inquisitor, I want to say he's still got crack shot.
I think he does.
Yes.
Now, the real question is, does Rick again add a phantom gas cloud into the equation?
There's a phantom in the equation, but I think it's out of range.
Yeah, I don't think he's got range on Whisper. I think he's got, here's the thing. Like, if he gets Grand Inquisitor off the board here, this is still a 50-50 match.
I don't think
60-40. I still think it's in favor of Patrick.
I mean, Whisper only has 1 hull.
You catch her, though.
And, that loose stabilizer is no joke.
She doesn't have an evade, so yes, she can.
Oh, true, because Whisper can't
Whisper has to go, straight. And yes, the interceptor and the bomber are still around, but the advantage that Rick does still have here is initiative, right? There's enough damage to those ships that he can take them off the board.
These next 2 range 3 shots are going to mean a lot.
Yep, exactly. If Rick can take out Grand Inquisitor, or versus if the bomber can take out Vader. And Vader has no tokens and no force. So this is about as good of a chance as any to pop Vader.
Rick and Patrick are now complaining that they have to do things the old school way through chat. Suck it up.
Oh no.
This is how we used to play Vassal. Fuckers. Just do it.
That's a range 3 shot on into Vader, isn't it?
Oh, you know what we've been forgetting? I don't think Patrick's ever used it, but Patrick has swarm tactics.
Oh, he does on
Whisper. And I don't think he's ever used it, so he could have
could have
the
popped up the interceptor.
interceptor can shoot at I-5 before Sabak does. But I think it's too late now.
And I think that's the conversation they're having in chat at the moment. So Patrick is saying he didn't declare using swarm tactics. So it does look like Pure Sabak is now taking his shots.
All right, range 3 obstruct into the Inquisitor.
Hits.
3 hits.
Oof, that's a nice roll for good old Rick.
5 dice.
Yep.
Yep, 5 dice.
It's fine.
Well, Crackshot is still here. If he remembers.
If he remembers.
He's checking the arc. I mean, it would have been better to do that. Yeah.
He announced
Rick
it.
is calling crack. So, Grand Inquisitor's down to 1 hull.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. All right, so I hope the folks are still listening in to our descent into madness here. We are getting quite late, and now there are shots back at Port Sabak. Oh, Tommy's asked them to flip that card to see what it is, but I don't think they saw it.
Natties.
Oh, nice roll.
Oof.
Natty Patty in effect on Pure Sabak. Now, Sabak does still have the focus. Okay, now we see Rick, because he's has to chat. We're now seeing what he was probably saying to Patty all along.
Yep, there it is.
Oof, that'll be a damage through.
But
No more
Pure
extra die,
Sabak's-
right?
No, I think he's okay still, right?
Yeah, I think he's got 1 more damage before he loses the effect.
That's
of
1
Pure
or fewer,
Sabak.
correct.
So, Pure Sabak will still be throwing extra dice until he takes 1 more damage.
And
Now-
last but not least, Bomber into Vader.
Vader, who has no force left. So this is Natty on Natty, which probably goes Patrick's way.
There's a 4% chance for him to erase the Vader off the board.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Oh man, this totally kills Vader here, just because.
Hit crit.
Blank, blank, blank.
No, it'll be hit crit. 1 crit goes through and direct hit.
It's gonna be focus,
That's
focus,
only-
focus, focus.
Daniel, that's only if you
There
were
we go.
Oh,
playing.
2 hits!
Oh god, blank, 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 blank.
Do it.
Oh, he's safe.
Oh, he's fine.
safe.
He's fine.
So, Danny, why don't you tell that story about your attacks on Vader now that we're going to be heading to Dials? Back
So
at
this was round 6 of the most recent Grand Championship at the Las Vegas Open. I was flying a Synchro Swarm, and my opponent was flying Echo, Vader, and a shuttle. I forget which. I think it was Psy, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm down on points. I have my Jedi left, Luminara, and I have 2 Torrents left, and I'm against a Vader and a uh, Echo, both of which are fairly healthy. I think Vader had 3 health at the time. He was still above half. And I had 2 shots at range 3 from my 2 Torrents onto the Vader. I had, I think, focus on each, and Vader had a focus and full force, 3 force. So my first hit, I get 2 hits. He rolls evade, blank, blank, blank. And I sneak a damage through. I'm like, wow, I'm ecstatic right now because like I have points on Vader. I'm still behind on points, but I'm still in the game. My next torrent, as you can imagine, I get 2 hits again, and then he rolls blank, 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 blank. So I go from having this full health or full points Vader down to a dead Vader, and now I have got 3 ships against his Echo, and I steal the game, and that should not have happened. and I end up making cut and then moving on to like top. What did I get? Top 16, I think,
yeah,
or top 8? No, top 16. Yeah.
I think you were at 16. Just noting here, Rick got super upset and rolled what would have been Vagabond's attack, and it was 4 natty hits.
Just don't do that. You just make yourself feel bad.
So, yeah, Whisper would be dead if Vagabond hadn't got wrecked. Poor Rick.
So this turn, I feel like Vader does a. No, he can't do a take K turn because he doesn't have a lock on anyone. Yeah, Vader's in a weird spot. He probably does a soft move and just takes out the bomber, and then regroups. Pure Sabak probably does a 1 bank out, hard turn in, just for Rick.
I mean,
Whisper's
here's the
in
thing,
a tough situation.
right? Like Whisper has no evades, so he's not cloaked. So Whisper's going to have to contend with Pure Sabak, essentially, right? Do you trade Pure Sabak for Whisper?
I mean, when you're so down on points, you have to. Like, there's not much you can do. I mean, for Patrick, if you trade Whisper for Pure Sabak, that's great. Now you have 3 ships on Vader,
Yeah.
and you probably finish him off. Because Whisper has to do a straight move, otherwise Whisper dies. And
Yep.
It has damage sensor ray, so cannot evade or cloak, so it has to just focus or fix the crits. So Whisper is basically in a big heap of trouble at the moment.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess the lucky thing for Patrick is the bomber's still there, right? So the bomber can threaten Vader no matter what Vader does. And, if you're Vader, you can't really take that chance, right? You're down to 1 force. If you spend that, okay. Yeah, you're down to 1 force, right? So if you spend that to get a second action, now you're just relying on dice. So that's
right.
Pretty tough.
Well, we know that the Interceptor and Whisper are going to be going forward. Inquisitor is still unknown, but I think Vader just does a 1 bank at the bomber,
Yeah.
kills the bomber this turn, and then that again just taking ships off the board
Yep.
will help him out in this fight.
I mean, the thing is, though, that the Interceptor isn't locked to, straights because it could just do it too hard to get a shot on Pure Sabak, right? Oh, okay, so there's the bomber. The bomber goes for the block on Vader.
Okay.
Good move.
Yeah, the Interceptor can do a hard 2 or 2 bang. I'm thinking he does a 2 bang towards the right, just to contend with
Yeah.
Pure Sabak. And guess what? The Whisper can make the interceptor at I5 and shoot before Pure Sabak to take his damage away.
Oh, that's rough. Well, not the
Well, I mean,
direction
that's the ailerons
yeah,
move, so
not
he's
the direction I
fine. So
actually expected him to go. To be honest, he must be going to block maybe the interceptor.
okay, yeah. So he took a gamble there, but he's fine. So he still gets the action, so it doesn't matter.
Yep. I guess this is a failure of my imagination, but I kind of expected him to go around the rock the other direction.
You mean go around the right side?
Yeah. Well, from his perspective, he went around the right side. From I expected him to kind of go left. But this is pretty good because it does mean the interceptor doesn't have a shot on him. So,
Right, exactly. So
yeah.
he took a gamble and it paid off. So
Yep.
now, depending on what Whisper did, Whisper could easily get blown up by Pure Sabak
Yep.
this round.
And as pointed out in chat, that rock has done 0 damage to anybody who's gone through it. So,
I do want to point out that for the majority of this game, I feel like Patrick has called the moves more, but this is the first turn that I see that the way that Rick did move Pure Sabak, that I feel like Rick called what Patrick was dialing in.
I mean, certainly, that was the right move because the only way the interceptor was going to go was the direction the interceptor went. So, kudos to Rick for choosing the direction that really the interceptor couldn't do anything about.
All right, it is Grand Inquisitor and Whisper.
So he's going big time for the Vader block. So, if Vader did any kind of short bank or forward, he's taking shots.
Honestly, if Vader did a one bank and bumps into the Grand Inquisitor, that's a best case scenario because he still gets a shot on the bomber.
Yeah.
And he's not getting shot back. So actually, that's not the worst.
It's not the worst. It's 3 versus 2. It's better than if he went straight. I totally agree.
Hold on. Doesn't Whisper have a damage sensor array?
Well,
Oh no, what's his
Whisper did
crit? I
do a
can't see
2
it.
forward, right?
Oh no, never mind. He has a damage engine. Never mind. He has
the
damage engine.
yeah.
He's fine.
Don't mind me. I forgot that I was muted for like the last 3 minutes.
Tommy was leaving us with the most insightful commentary for the last 3 minutes, and none of us heard it.
Which is fine.
Lock, force, focus, link, barrel roll. Got it.
So Vader missed all of those block attempts. So well done by Rick to essentially control this turn. Now, Whisper does have a shot on Pure Sabak. Sabak will have a shot on Grand Inquisitor.
Unless Vader, because Vader is going to barrel roll up, Vader can initiative kill Whisper really easily here.
Yep.
All right. Like I said, I feel like this was Rick's turn. He called the blocks, he called the moves, and he put his 2 ships in the best position possible. If both Whisper and the Grand Inquisitor go down this turn, then Rick's stolen the game.
And now Patrick is exclaiming that he thought he had that turn blocked.
Yep. Yeah, Rick has had an extremely good turn here. And if the game goes in his direction, it's going to be that he called Patrick's moves.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah, it's dead. Spend the focus. The only event spend the
Yep.
lock. He's done.
He re-rolled anyway, because why not?
Yeah.
That's kind of dick move, Rick. I just want to register.
Yep. And then Whisper goes down, and then Patrick has no shot this
No
turn.
shots this round.
And is Pure Sabak into either Grand Inquisitor or Bomb.
I think you have to go for Grand Inquisitor, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, you've got the extra die.
Evade, yeah, 4 dice with the focus. Chances are you push 1 through, and it's all you need, just 1.
Because I mean, the thing is, both of Rick's ships can initiative kill that bomber. So I think you take the shot to get Grand Inquisitor off the board.
Though it's probably a range 2 though. So yes, 4 on 3, focus versus evade.
Patrick still has a 2-point lead at this point.
Oh man.
Range 1 in a Grand Inquisitor.
Is it? Yeah, range 1. Oh, 5 dice. That's gotta be a dead Inquisitor.
Oof.
Well, I shouldn't say anything. It's Natty Patty. We never know.
Blank, 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 blank.
Oh, Rick is asking if
Oh, that's true.
Patrick will use
So
the Force.
Gink can reduce the dice to 4, which is probably the right call, right?
I think so. Because you're spending a force on reducing their dice pool with their focus, so it's like 0.75 damage less, versus having 1 single force for defense. It just adds 0.25 adds in terms of defense, because it's just 1 focus conversion. So yeah, it's better. Oh, he said
All
no.
right. Patrick is saying no.
Okay.
Woof.
So it'll be 5 versus 3.
Yikes. I mean,
Rick's asking again. Just take the shot, Rick. Just take the shot.
oof.
And that's dead.
Well, I mean, he could natty out. Well, yeah, he's dead.
No, he's dead. No, he's dead.
Yeah, he would have. Yeah, even if he had died, he can. Can I take back all my griping? No, Rick, you're gonna go down as a sore winner.
I just went ahead and answered him in chat. Rick is still a douche. Oh, that's brutal.
Yep. So now we've got a TIE interceptor and a bomber versus Vader and Pure Sabak, who's still
Who's still throwing
effectively
extra
has
dice?
exactly. Yep.
And we're on to turn 9, right?
We are.
All right, I'll return in a second. You guys fill the air.
Be breathing time.
Oh, this is where I start drawing some happy trees, isn't it?
We don't have that ability here.
Oh no, just pretend. Okay, we're drawing happy trees. You know, we don't make mistakes. We just make little happy trees and happy accidents.
All right. Let me look at my calculator. I gotta remove Inquisitor, which is another 8 points. No, 27 points.
Yeah, there you go. Inquisitor is almost a little more than 50.
53. Wait, Rick has a 143 to 119 lead.
Yeah, there you go. Now, right now, Pure Sabak needs to bully the bomber. Vader just needs to run away. Because he's stressed, he's looking the wrong way, he has no force. He just needs to run.
Needs to get out of dodge. Bach is 23, so that doesn't help.
Well, so Sabak's
this
still
point,
technically above. He's still above half right now.
Yeah, so if he plinks in one more, he's still got a ways to go.
Yeah, no, Patrick needs to kill Sabak and not take any more damage.
This game turned when Patrick's phone died.
It was the lucky phone. If Patrick can kill the bomber this turn with Pure Sabak, and then
You mean Rick?
Oh yeah, what did I say? It said Patrick, and then Rick. If Rick can kill the bomber with Pure Sabak, honestly, like Pure Sabak can actually do like a sloop this turn and probably be okay. You know, go one forward and then into a sloop, just to get behind the bomber, and then he'll be kind of far away from the interceptor, and then Vader just runs, probably 2 bank or 3 forward out.
Yeah, because be just north of that bottom right. If you go up, what is that? 5 template, it'll be so. This rock in the middle between Sabak and the interceptor, it'll be a little bit further past that, in line with the bottom left or bottom right rock. Oh, K-turn for the bomber. Kind of expected that.
Okay.
So try and Natty Patty trying to roll some natties into Sabak, I would guess.
But yeah, well, we'll see what Sabak does.
Run away, Sabak. Run for 3 more turns.
No, get in there, kill the bomber, sacrifice yourself. If he can get Sabak into a position where he blocks the interceptor's 2 turn, and still has a shot on the bomber, that will be his best case scenario.
Even if the bomber dies, if Sabak dies with it, Patrick comes out ahead.
Really? One saber's worth more than half
with
a
static discharge. One
Oh,
saber with static discharge veins is worth more than Vader.
Wow. We have found Patrick's win condition.
Is it 30 points for the saber? It's not 30 points, is it?
No, the GSA is the bomber. Saber's 42.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, and Vader is not 84 points. Static discharge vein.
The thing is, he's got to get another
totally
damage through on Pure Sabak, right?
He does.
And yeah.
Right, but what I'm saying
is,
is
not out of the rebel possibility, but he is going uphill.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean,
sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if the bomber goes off the board, then it's really tough comeback here.
Right. So Rick needs to puts Pure Sabak in a position that it can potentially block the saber and kill off the bomber and just say, "Fine, we're doing this."
So there's there's Pierce Sabak moving in probably to try to take the GSA off the board to make the math a little bit more, put the math in his favor, right? Because
Yeah.
he really needs to get Pierce Sabak. Patrick has to get Pierce Sabak off the board to have a chance to win this.
Without taking any damage on the interceptor.
Yeah, exactly. Now, to his advantage, really Pierce Sabak's got to get the bomber off the board here. So we'll see.
Is he going to barrel roll? Yeah, he's going to barrel roll.
He barrel rolled just in case.
Do you think he needed to do that?
Yeah,
Probably
because
not.
you don't want to risk Pierce Box shooting and just wiping out the interceptor.
Yeah, I suppose that is 5 dice
Yeah,
on 3
that's
dice.
true. Yeah.
So
He does need the interceptor to stay alive to win this game. So
Right. And then
that
they're
was
both initiative 4, so
correct play.
they will both get a shot.
yeah, that's probably the right call because if he does get Pierce back off the board here, then it is 3 more rounds of that poor interceptor trying to dodge Vader.
Vader.
Right. But then, like Tommy was saying, the interceptor is worth more than half a Vader.
Yeah.
So it is
Right.
all on Rick at that point to do something. So it won't be that crazy. I mean, it'll still be like 2 ships running around for another 3 turns.
Exactly.
We're going to 12 turns or 13 turns.
12 turns. So if he can kill Sabak, then he just has to run away and not take shots from Vader for
Turns.
3 turns. 10, 11, 12. Now that bomber's toast. Let's all agree.
I mean, 5 blanks. Okay, he's
Yes.
toast.
He's toast.
That's
The question is, do you save the focus for defense?
Ooh, God, that's
or-
tough.
Ooh.
I mean, I think I save the focus for
You save the
defense. And pray the bomber doesn't roll.
But it's Natty Patty we're talking about here.
There's no way Patty rolls double evades here.
If there was a crit in there, I would leave it. At 2 hits in the eyeball, I would spend it.
You think so?
Just guarantee it. I would spend it. Just because
Because it's
this-
4 on 2
this-
coming back at you. That's 4 with a focus is what? 2.8
It's
hits?
not- Rick is not using it. Oh,
okay, we're good. He made the right
good.
call.
He's fine.
Yeah.
Unless he rolls blanks. It didn't matter.
Yeah, his gamble paid off.
Yep. So the bomber's gone.
The other thing you have to consider is Rick is also technically in the lead at this point.
Yep.
And if you are in the lead, you usually want to get the more conservative play to maintain the lead. You don't want to have Patrick Natty out, and then you lose Pierce Sabak, and now you're at a bomber and interceptor versus Vader.
Is spending the focus the conservative play, or is it the aggressive play?
It hit crit.
It's the more conservative play because you want to.
Oh,
Evade.
there's Natty's, but it's not Patty.
Yeah, it's
It does
because
take
you
Sabak
don't
down
you don't need to
normal.
gamble because you're gambling a little bit there.
Damage engine.
Damage engine.
That kind of hurts.
That does, because it does provide the interceptor some chances to chase Vader instead, and maybe try to get Vader off the board.
Right, but Pierce Sabak just does a sloop next turn, so it doesn't really matter too much for the turns.
For this turn, for sure, right? But with a sloop, and the options that the 2 hard blue provide to the interceptor. The interceptor is not necessarily going to be in range, after a 2 sloop, right? Now,
Right,
Vader.
but for next
Go
turn.
ahead.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying for next turn, you then have a pincer move where Vader is probably coming around that gas cloud. The interceptor the interceptor might try and go and kill Pierce Sabak actually. So Pierce Sabak can just run up the north and to the left.
Do you think? I mean, here's the challenge, right? If let's say Patty decides to try to go after Pierce Sabak, Sabak's not stressed, so Sabak is going to have an open dial for his boosts and an open dial for whatever move he chooses. I mean, he could bank one hard, right? Rather than do a sloop. So
Yeah.
to me, the possibilities here are really about leaving Sabak in the dust. Sabak has lost the extra attack die. If Sabak wants to be in this fight, Sabak's got to really. It doesn't have to sloop, but probably is going to want to open up the dial for next turn. So to me, the opportunity for the Saber is to take a pot shot on Vader, which means that for Vader wants to use that gas cloud to the right as,
Yep, I agree.
kind of like a defensive screen. So we know what Vader's going to do, basically. Vader doesn't need to be in this fight. Vader can just get the F out. So really,
Yeah.
what does Sabak do here? And I think Sabak's got to... If I'm Patrick, I'm trying to do a move with Sabak that maintains positioning on the... Sorry, if I'm Rick. Maintains positioning on the interceptor and also has a token. That's my perspective, rather than a sloop.
Right, but the other thing you have to consider is there's only 2 turns left,
Yeah.
which I didn't realize until now. So if I'm Rick, I'm just running. As cowardly as it seems, I'm out. So Pure Sabak will do a 1 bank aileron to the left, 3 bank, and then Vader does a 3 bank to his right, and then you're not shooting at either one anymore.
I mean, I think if I'm Patrick, I plan for that, and I right too hard, and I boost between the 2 gas clouds. That's what I kind of plan on. So there's the sloop, which is an interesting direction.
Yeah.
Tommy, what did you think?
Well,
you were saying something.
I have no idea what I was going to say. I was expecting him to run.
Oh, looks like Patrick did go for...
The too hard.
Oof. Went after Pure Sabak. Interesting. Target locks... No, Darth Vader has a target lock on him.
Yeah.
It's just
no,
focuses.
He focus or evade and then barrel roll out to get range 3.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then next turn you set up for the hard 2 turn in.
The hard 2 again.
To take Sabak
out. Because Sabak is now stressed.
And Sabak can't run, so Sabak is gonna... He might get lucky and kill Sabak and not get half points, and he wins. There, done.
Yep.
Excuse me.
COVID-19.
Tommy's gonna die, everybody. Sorry. And as we expected, Vader headed for that gas cloud.
Yeah, he almost doesn't even need to set Vader's dial anymore because it's not going to matter next turn.
Yep. Yeah, it's all about dice and this interceptor versus Pure Sabak. Now, the upside for both of them is that they're both initiative 4. So no matter what happens, each of them is shooting.
Rick does have looks like a range 3 shot.
Yeah, 3 versus 4. And of course, if this interceptor takes a damage, this game is over.
Well, he's 2 damage.
2 damage.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that's right, 2.
Yep.
Ain't gonna do it.
Oh.
But
Blank.
There's another.
Blank.
There is another round of shooting.
Vince just fist pumped, I'm sure, wherever Vince is.
Vade.
There you go.
They both hated their rolls here, but it's 1-1, and they cancel. Rick's like, "Aw, damn." Well, so here's the thing: like, there's nothing that the interceptor can do here except too hard, right?
Exactly.
He's got to kill Pure Sabak.
I don't think Pure Sabak has a move to block the 2 hard.
I don't think so
Right.
either. Well, what about a 4 hard keeping the stress?
I don't think
The 4 straight.
I don't think they have a 4 straight.
Don't have a 4 straight. 3 straight is the fastest.
You're right, they don't, of course,
3s are the
because-
fastest they can go.
Yeah, because of the stupid ailerons, of course. Yeah, I think you're right. I think a 3-4 doesn't save him, but a 3-4 barrel roll probably prevents arc.
3 bank.
Well,
3
bank
bank's not blue, right?
It's not blue.
Yeah.
Is the 3 forward blue on their dial? I don't know their dial.
3 forward is blue.
Vince just heard me note in chat whether he was fist pumping or not. He says he has no idea what I'm talking about. So, what is the crit? Hey, tell me, what's the crit on Pure Sabak? The damage engine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that doesn't
damage
matter.
engine.
He's not going to do a hard turn, so it
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
He could. No, wait, he can't because it would go 2 straight.
Well, I mean, yeah, exactly. He's stressed, so he can't do any kind of hard turn here. Not that he would, right? Because he wants to have an action.
Yeah, he could 3 forward into a barrel roll, and that might put him into a position where he can't get shot.
Exactly.
He moves first, so
He does. So he's not. I mean,
Maybe?
but you know that the interceptor has to too hard. Patrick
no,
has to do
yep.
damage here, right? Now Patrick is a smarter guy than I am, so maybe Patrick has a better plan. But
I mean, he could just he could dial on the 1 hard, but oof, that feels bad.
yeah, no actions, and if he's taking shots from Pure Sabak, that's brutal. I mean, is Pure Sabak better off if he stays at range here? What do you guys think?
No, if I were Rick, I would find a way to dive Pure Sabak in and block the 2 hard.
Yeah, to try to do that. Got it.
dials are down.
Here we go. So Sabak moves first.
I think this game is at 2 hours and 20 minutes at this point.
Yep.
Well, I appreciate you guys hanging out all this time. I appreciate you who are listening to us. Okay, so we've got the 1 bank.
So
And a focus.
if the interceptor does a 2 hard, barrel roll out, boost in, does that clear your shot? I mean,
Well,
it's a risk.
Barrel roll right and
oh, he one-hearted.
forward.
No action.
No action.
Oh.
Ooh.
Wow.
That's
That is not what I expected from Patrick. Patrick must have expected a 3 forward attempting the block.
Yeah, exactly. So the mind game, and Rick was like, "Nope, I'm just going to do this simple thing."
And Rick is barrel rolling for some reason with Darth Vader.
Well, there's no valid move, so it doesn't really cost him. So, just no action.
Yeah, right there. Patrick said he needed shots, and then 3 straight with the barrel roll blocks the 2 turns. So
I'm not sure, to be honest. But Patrick thought so that explains it. Well, he's going to have to rely on natties.
it's okay. Natty Patty is fine. So we have 4 on 3, followed by 4 on 2. So, it's fine.
I got to say, this has been a hell of a game. Pure Sabak fires first. Range 1. 4 versus 3. He could straight kill this interceptor.
Doesn't need to.
Oh,
That will do it,
damn.
though.
Oof.
That's juicy.
Yeah, that is. There's a very good chance that this interceptor just goes bye-bye here. Oh.
Or
Half points.
Natty Patty. But yeah, at half points, there's nothing he can do to win the game now.
Well, he's got to. I mean, he can. He has to kill Sabak here and
No,
go
no,
get
no, he has
Vader.
He has to kill Vader.
But yeah, I mean, there's no way that Rick puts Vader into jeopardy over the next 2 turns. So.
Well, it's just one more turn after this.
Correct. That's right. Wow. You should feel guilty about bitching earlier, Rick. Oh, worst possible roll for Patrick.
Oh, jeez.
Blank focus,
Yeah.
blank, blank. So,
Feel the guilt now.
oof. Okay, so Patrick is conceding the game, and that is it. So, hey, this was a hell of a first game for us to stream. It was
All
back and
goes
forth.
downhill from here.
And yeah, well, we'll definitely have some jankier matchups as we go forward. So thanks for joining us on this adventure, Daniel and Tommy. Thank you so much for helping me out with this. I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys did too.
That
Yeah, it
was
was
a good
good.
game.
It
All
took a
right.
bit too long, in my opinion, but
Yeah, you got to work tomorrow. I'm
eh,
sorry, man.
I do.
Yeah, this has been our very first Militant Casuals Jank Tank Vassal stream. Rick pulls out the win against Patrick, the 1 seed versus the 4 seed, based on our random seeding. So we're going to go ahead and cut this off for now. I will figure out what our next game is and keep everybody up to date in our Militant Casuals chat and also in the Eugene chat. So if you'd like to make sure you get updated when we run, please subscribe to our YouTube channel or join Militant Casuals. We're super inclusive. We'll take anybody. I mean, we took Rick. I mean, we'll take anybody. So see you all on the next one. Thanks.
And everybody.
Yeah. Good night and good night, everybody.
Good night.
All right.